Hey, what's up? What's up? What's up, my little Tattle Tells? How is everybody doing? Welcome. I know y'all about to be like, oh, she's late again, but as usual, I am not late. How is everybody doing today? Y'all know I was on time. For all you guys, the type A people, yes, I was like 3 minutes late, but I was trying to get my hair right. And as you see, it just went to the same curly mess. How's everybody doing? You guys, woo! We are having in the middle of the State of the Union. What is going on? Now, I do want to take this opportunity to say, I told you so, right? Because how many times I get to say it? I told you that Porsha wasn't coming back. I told you that Kenya was. I told y'all that Marlo was coming. I told y'all that something was going on with it. And I told y'all this 5 months ago when I first started YouTube. I think I started YouTube in April, right? I told you guys 5 months ago that the network execs were literally looking to literally shake the table, destroy everything, and build Real Housewives of Atlanta. Now, was this a big shock? No, because you kind of saw what they did with Real Housewives of Orange County. You see kind of like what's happening a little bit with Beverly Hills. Dallas, you could say, but nobody watched Dallas, and they got fired because they were racist and like making anti-Asian jokes and jokes about like whoever else. But I told you guys what was happening with the Real Housewives a while ago. Now, right now, this is the one thing that we need to ask ourselves, right? We need to ask ourselves this. One, let's talk about what happened. Let's say hi to everybody, really. Hey, T Breezy H Town. Let's talk about what actually happened, right? Because I want y'all to go through all of this with me. It's very important that you guys go through all this with me. There's been a lot of speculation that Portia wasn't fired, she quit. You guys, if Portia was quitting, then she wouldn't have been in salary negotiations. Do you understand how that goes? You cannot quit a job when you've been in salary negotiations. You went to salary negotiations. They told you you must be crazy. You tried to come back to the original offer and they didn't have it anymore. Now, there's a reason why they didn't have it. And that's what everybody's missing. And that's what I came here to tell y'all. What is the reason for Porsha actually being let go? And it's not what you think. Now, before I get to what the actual reason is, if any of you guys are joining me on replay, I'm going to put timestamps at the bottom. I'll do my best to put timestamps in the bottom because I know my lives get long. But if you're getting dressed for work, if your man's getting on your nerves, if your boss ain't talking about shit, if your kids, they can feed themselves. Give them some Oreos and some Lunchables. Your kids can feed themselves. We are talking about real stuff, right? And for everybody saying, who cares, right? We care. Men can have their sports. I don't watch sports. My sports is Housewives, and I love discussing my favorite teams, my favorite players, and what's going on. If men can listen to this is misogyny, right? If men can listen to sports recaps for hours at a time and have fantasy leagues and fantasy drafts and be in their phase personal business, then why can't we sit here and have fantasy leagues and fantasy drafts and be talking about the Real Housewives? Yes, they are real people, but it's also a fictionalized version of who they are. Do we know who Porsha is at her heart? Do we know who Kenya is? We are talking about what they represent, you know? Hey, guys. So listen, let's get into this mess, right? Okay. First things first. The reason Porsha was actually let go. One, when you look, and I'm going to get into the surprise reason that nobody has caught on as to why she was actually really let go. But let's get into the obvious things, right? And I told you this happened. Y'all doubted me. B. Scott backed me up. I agree with that. Well, he didn't back me up. B. Scott made a statement. Fine. B. Scott's bigger than me, right? He doesn't even know who I am, but whatever, right? So anyway, one, let's look at Portia's time on Real Housewives of Atlanta. Porsha was a fan favorite. She played with the producers. Porsha was a more believable Drew Sidora before Drew Sidora existed. We're going to get into Drew and all the other moving components. She was a more believable Drew Sidora. Now, Porsha, right now we have 141 people. When we get to 350 people, I'll drop the link so you guys can call in and give me your opinions of what you think's going on. But let me get into the surprise reason she was fired. I know I keep breaking my own train of thought, but just rock with me, right? Now, Porsha, She was a more believable Drew Sidora before Drew Sidora was there. She played nice for production. She did what she told. She brought the drama when she needed. Porsha also had beautiful face, beautiful body, natural charisma, right? Hey, Elaine, what's going on? Elaine said she did not get a contract. Why would you run away from your biggest paycheck? Simon and Porsha are a liability to the network, all those fake LLCs. Okay, thank you for the super chat, Elaine. That's an interesting theory. But let me just get more into the thing, right? So let's talk about who Porsha is. And let's be honest, because at the end of the day, I am sad to see this happen because, and I'll tell you the truth, Simon is the one that I thought was bad news and bad energy. I wanted her to separate from that leech. I never in a million years that I think that she would separate herself from the bag to go down to Costa Rica and stay in the house, which kind of lets you know he's trying to turn her into the way Fallon described him as having her. But let's get into this, right? Porsha, one second, guys. Porsha literally, she was Drew Sidora before Drew Sidora actually existed. She 100%, right? She 100% played along with production. However, she did start to get the Nene complex. We'll talk about Nene because Nene is important in this. She did start to get the Nene complex halfway through, where she thought she was too big for her britches, excuse the saying. She started to realize that she had power, but she started to use her power to settle personal grudges. Now, am I judging her? No, because I'm sure if I had power and I had a personal grudge, I would use it too. I think that's kind of human nature. But the thing is that as she grew, and Nene was let go, they put her in a position to be the new Nene. Somebody in the network thought that she could carry the whole show and she could be that center character against all that rotated in the Real House of Atlanta. They thought, hey, B, thank you. Everybody give a shout out to my moderator, B. She is the best moderator in the world. What's up, girl? But if you guys are ever in my tarot, you know that B is always there. She's always looking out. I do tarot also, but let's get into Porsha, right? So you know that they needed a nexus around which everything else revolved in the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Somehow the network was convinced that it would be Porsha. Porsha has 1 million fans. Porsha has 6.6 million Instagram followers. Porsha was doing Bravo chat room. She was doing all this stuff. Now, the thing is that the network execs, because they are a lot older, didn't realize is you can have 6.6 million followers, but that doesn't mean that they actually show up. A lot of Porsha's fans, in my opinion, are like Monique's fans. They like Porsha in abstract, but they're not sitting down and watching the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Do you see what I'm saying? It's like Monique's fans. Monique had a lot of fans, but they were watching the clips and commenting on the clips. They never actually showed up to actually watch it. Now, all this is going on. Porsha starts up with Simon. The production is already looking at her sideways because if you don't remember, Kenya got fired for secretly getting married and not letting them film it. Porsha was exposed, even though she tried to say, oh, we've only known each other for a month. If you haven't seen my expose, you know they've known each other for more than a month. They've known for over a year, right? Porsha was shown by production that she had lied to production. She had hid a relationship. And when she finally got exposed, she said, yes. And she talked to everybody like a stupid. I know it's quick, but it's been a month and I love them, right? So production was already side-eyeing. The soul of Bravo that was in Variety magazine, it was either in Variety or Entertainment, cast Bravo in a light that they were making a mockery out of racial issues. At best, they didn't care. At worst, they were using racial issues for a storyline. Candy came out smiling like roses. The focus of the article was why Kenya, if they didn't want to make Black Lives Matter an issue on the show, why did you let a Black woman questioning another Black woman about her activism, regardless of what you feel about Kenya? Why would you make that a storyline? Do you know what I'm saying? If you actually had respect for the Black Lives Matter. So it was showed that Porsha was their darling, and it showed that they were protecting their darling. They were also under hits of like racial injustice, being insensitive, out of this, that, and the third. Okay, so we have that component. Porsha is also dating Fallon's husband, which could have been a huge storyline had they known about it. But the network execs were blindsided. The production company was blindsided. Now let's get into Simon, right? Her fiance, Simon, you guys know I've made a million videos. He is a fraud. there's a lot going on that's just like really weird about it, right? In my opinion, if you want to see what I base my opinion on, go watch the videos, right? Make up your own mind, right? But you have Simon. Kenya. Now, Marlo at the reunion actually said, I know everything because Marlo knew at the time that she was dating Simon. That's why Porsha, if you remember at last reunion, flipped out and said, "Shut up, convict! Shut up, convict! Security, security!" She literally did a Karen on Marlo. One, it broke Marlo's heart because Marlo's been very, very loyal to Porsha. Two, it was so out of custom. And three, Porsha knew what she was doing. She was trying to mess up Marlo's bag because if you remember, all the old gossip fodders always said that the reason Marlo, and you guys, I know this is like drawn out. Let me get to this and then I'll take questions, but I'm telling you, it's going to be worth the while because I need to set it up so you guys truly understand what's going on. It was always rumored that one of the reasons Marlo didn't have a peach is because of her criminal record. By Porsha saying, "I don't feel safe, I don't feel safe," and she's the star of the show, she literally was doing some evil shit right there where she was trying to take away Marlo's job, fuck up her future. We know that Marlo's her two nephews, she's raising as her home like a good auntie. She was trying to mess up Marlo's reputation, mess up her bag, embarrass her, and make it so that she wouldn't even come back as a friend of the housewives. Y'all can say what you want about Porsha, but one thing we can agree, when she wants to get rid of someone, she sees no boundaries and she goes low, 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 right? So this also called Porsha's activism into question because how are you talking about Black Lives Matter? How are you talking about all this defunding the police and all this other stuff? And you were literally being a Karen to another Black woman that you called your friend. Why did she do this? Because she dared to make up with Kenya. This is a few episodes after she was like, Kenya sees that Marlo is desperate for her friendship and it's sad they won't be friends, right? But we all know that was all game, right? But she was exposed for having the game. So you see what she did that also made her activism portion of her show something tough to swallow. People started to say, "I think you are an activist." I was one of those people. We all did what we could for Black Lives Matter, but there seemed to be something very odd about the way that Bravo would disparage one Black woman who was Kenya Moore, right? And make her look like she's questioning Porsha's activism without showing the whole thing. Another at the reunion when Porsha said, "Convict," cut with all the hate and bitterness in her heart. "Convict, convict," trying to mess up Marlo's bag. Bravo could have cut that out too. They cut out 90 other percent of the union. So I was looking at them like, why did you guys choose to show this? Why would you put during Black Lives Matter and all this unrest, why would you put two Black women in a bad light? Again, you didn't have to make them look bad and make a mockery of the movement in order for Porsha to still be your darling. That could have been left on the cutting room floor, right? Now, all this happened because Marlo knew about Simon, and to Marlo's point, she did not spill the beans. She did not spill the beans. Now, it's no secret that Kenya and Porsha do not like each other. You have to remember that during last season, right? One thing about Nene, and Nene's very important to this, so I'm going to bring her back, but let me just say this. One thing about Nene is no matter how much she hated Kenya, no matter how much somebody got on their lap bastard, Nene would engage with them in a scene. She might curse them out. She might act a fool. She might read them. She might become Nene, right? But she always gave us a show and she always engaged. Nene was one of those rare people that she doesn't even know why she's being funny, but she's funny, right? So Nene would play ball. Porsha, when Nene got pushed out the way by Bravo, Nene said that there were issues with all this stuff with Bravo. Porsha was literally put up as the prodigal son. Okay, right. So now we have Bravo saying, "No, forget Nene. Porsha's the next. She's going to be the next this." That's why they started doing the aunties versus the nieces because NBC Universal execs were saying, "Let's take this in a more fun way," right? They're like, "Oh no, it's gonna be aunties versus the nieces." The whole point was to get the aunties out of the way. If you look at last season, right, Latoya was supposed to be Kenya's replacement. Drew was supposed to be Porsha's replacement, and Porsha was stepping into Nene's role. So it was musical chairs, right? Porsha was the new Nene, Drew was the new Porsha, Latoya was supposed to be the new Kenya, right? Marlo, the new Marlo, or Marlo wasn't impeached, but the person that gave Marlo's energy was supposed to be Fallon. Rich, dipped, doing all these grounded stuff, has a billionaire taking care of you. We all know it's bullshit, but that's what's happening. That's why they did the aunties and the nieces, because they were trying to prime viewers for, no, this is a younger, that's why they did a lot of love and hip hop crossovers. Again, Porsha showed up with Mandy, Yandy protesting, but please believe Bravo would have never let that happen unless they had plans. We see that. How do we know? Because Kenya Moore hair care let it be released a few days ago. She let it be released a few days ago that Bravo tried to step into her check and literally said, you can't do Dancing with the Stars. We don't give you permission. And the way she ran it by producers. So everything that Porsha does off of Bravo has been approved by Bravo. This is very disturbing, but it has been approved by Bravo. Not only truly true entertainment, but also Bravo, and to a lesser extent, NBC Universal, right? So we have that. They were doing the nieces and the aunties, and the goal was to phase out the aunties, right? Phase out the aunties. We see already Porsha. Porsha was supposed to step in. Kenya was going to be phased out. Cynthia was going to be phased out. Marlo was going to be phased out. Hey, Star Jones, you said I'm proud of Phelan waking up and cut her grass. When she cut it, the snakes hiss. Simple Simon and Porsha are snakes and need to slither together. Thank you so much, Star Jones. Okay, so right. This is where they were taking it. And that whole nieces versus aunties, one, it was a dumb thing because at the end of the day, Porsha has a young spirit, but she's 40 years old. Again, I'm not saying that she's old, and she's not. But compared to a 20-year-old audience, if you're trying to get a 20-year-old, why wouldn't you just put more 20-year-olds on it? Do you see what I'm saying? To us, she might be like, no, Portia's young. She's still doing it. But to a 20-year-old, they're just like, Porsha is an auntie. So that's why the nieces versus aunties never worked, because everybody on the show is an aunt. Just some people are big sis aunt, and some people are like the youngest aunt, the oldest aunt, but they're all aunties. Ain't nobody a goddamn niece on the show. Drew was as close to, and Drew and Fallon were as close as a niece as you get. But Drew being married with a couple of kids and Fallon having 3 kids and being married is not niece energy. Niece is young. Niece is carefree. Niece is dating it. Niece is doing it. Now, Bravo, for whatever reason, thought niece energy was sleeping with strippers. I don't know, right? But let me shut up and let me get back to what I'm saying, right? So we have all those things going on. It's very important that we all notice the moving parts, right? It's very sorry guys, it's very, very, very up in there, right? Now we're gonna talk to this, right? Okay, so that's what we're doing now. Now you also have to remember, we're gonna also talk about the pursuit of Porsha and her book deal too, but let me just get through everything, right? We also have what's going on is Porsha is dating Simon. Simon's led her to believe that she doesn't have to worry about anything and he can take care of her. Now, women in the chat, and men too, right? If you're in a relationship with someone that has more money than you've ever seen, I don't think he does, but let's just say everything he's saying is true. And you're at the top of your game. You're America's sweetheart. You're on one of the biggest reality TV show, right? In America. You are a head runner. You are on Dish Nation, one of the most syndicated talk shows, and you have a book coming out. How is it that within meeting this man, even if he does have the money he says, you are literally losing all your blessings? You're losing all your blessings. Who's ever been with someone that literally did not wish the best for you and did not encourage you to grow? This looks like it is hustling backwards. Again, this could be Portia's choice, right? But if you look at it, Fallon said that her ex-husband literally did what he did to clip her wings and put her in a cage, right? It could have been a golden cage, but it is a cage, right? Simon is clipping Portia's wings. She has lost it. Well, not lost, but contract negotiations. And you guys keep saying this has led her to leave this nation. Contract negotiations has led her to leave Real Housewives of Atlanta. The book that she has coming out, this is all important. I'm getting to the point. At most, she got $100,000 advance, and $100,000 after taxes at most $55,000. That shit can be spent in a couple of months, right? And that's if she even got $100,000 advance, because J.K. Rowling would get $500,000 advance off of Harry Potter. Book advances are not what you guys think it is. $100,000 is very, very generous, especially considering it is a very small publisher. It's literally one step above self-publishing. No shade to self-publishing. It's great if you can do it. However, to get into those big better, you need to be in Penguin, Random House. I'm telling you guys a little bit about the writing industry and about the publishing industry. You need to be with Penguin, Random House, or one of the titans of publishing to even get good offers and to make sure your book does good with promotion, right? Now, so she has the book deal, right? She's lost Dish Nation. You guys can say she just stepped away, but it's odd that all these things are ending with contract negotiations. Let me ask you a question. If you go into your job and you say, I want a raise, right? How the hell does it turn into you walking out with no job unless they were thinking they didn't need you anyway? How the hell does it turn into you not saying you have a job? You go into your boss's office and you're like, I want a raise. I deserve it. How the hell does it turn into you not walking out with a job? How? Unless they were planning to let you go. Why? Porsha did not play well with the other girls. When she took center position, she started icing out cast members. She would not engage with Kenya. She made sure that everybody had to pick the side and couldn't engage in Kenya. She made it very separatist. If that's not even a word, but y'all know what I'm saying. She literally was very decisive. She made production look stupid. She did all these things. And what's more, here's what her contract was, which is why I say that it was that goddamn Simon. What was her negotiations that they would not accept? What were her terms that they weren't going to? Well, word on the street, you can take my opinion or not. Watch my videos if you want to see what I'm basing my opinion on. She did not want anyone going after her and Simon's relationship. That was a sticking point that she would not agree to. That's what it was. And she felt if they were allowed to go after her relationship because it's so precious to her, and she was allowed to go after that, then she wanted a massive pay grade because she felt, I'm bringing all these people because they're going to be dragging me, so I want a passive pay grade. Now, here's the thing. Do I fault Porsha for doing that? Absolutely not. Girl, get that money. If there's a bag, get as much as you can. But the fact that you put everything on the line because you wanted to protect this man that allegedly sources at Buckhead are saying that even as recent as a few Fridays ago at the Red Martini, he was on a date with another woman. Now, if the sticking point is that you don't want your relationship questioned, you don't want anyone coming after your man, so what does that tell me? Simon, or you let a man in a relationship mess up your bag. Now, why would somebody let a man in a relationship mess up their bag? Because they are somehow assured, that whatever the guy has, the bag can take care of them. But if we read the Yelp reviews, shout out to Erica De Niro, if we read the Yelp reviews on Simon, again, I'm not saying your past determines your future. I'm not. But when you start doing the same damn actions and recreating the same scenarios that you recreated in your past, then I can pretty much predict your future. Isolation. Word on the street is when we get into Porsha's show, right? Half the family she filmed with isn't even talking. There was a big dust up on that show that Porsha instigated. Half that family is not even talking to Porsha anymore. He is isolating her away from half her family. He is isolating her away from friends. This is what the streets have been saying. Go watch the videos if you don't believe me. And you guys, I do have memberships for $4.99. Go ahead and sign up and become part of the T. Satire family. I am doing my very first ever private members live where I bring you all the tea, the salacious tea. I usually like to have 3 points of verification. And once I hear it from 3 reputable sources, the same story, I'm like, okay, let me run to y'all. However, when I spill the tea for $4.99, it's going to happen 2 or 3 times a month for all the tea I know. I'm bringing you the one. Listen, usually I have 3 wick candles. Now I'm bringing you the 1 wick candle that's going to fill the room with the messy aroma. If you guys are into that or you want to join, go ahead and join my channel. It's only $4.99 a month. You can cancel at any time. But I'm bringing a tea. Plus, it's going to be fun. And it's going to be members only, so you guys can come up and talk. If you're shy, it's not even going to be at the public. All I ask is whatever tea I spill in the room, please keep it between us. Please. Now, back to where I was saying, right? The tea that was spilled is Portia's not even talking to have that thing. Simon has isolated her from her friends. He's isolated from the family. And I know a lot of you Porsha fans, and again, I'm not going to lie, I like Porsha on the show. A lot of the Porsha fans are like, damn, like, what's next? She has to have another bag. But you guys, why is it in this world? Listen, you know I'm investigative. You know I love digging below everything, right? But why can't we ever just call things for what it is? And the time she's been dating that man, she has lost her reputation. She has lost her style. She has lost her compass. She has lost her common sense. She has lost her bag. She's no longer on Definition. She's no longer a Real Housewives of Atlanta. I know she has that little infomercial, but there's no chance. It's not guaranteed it's going to be picked up. Now, is it an opportunity? Hell yeah. But if we look at Porsha's having a baby and Porsha's getting engaged, neither of them, those were also her opportunities for spinoffs. And neither of them did enough numbers for Bravo to even laugh about it. It's not even played on repeat. Nothing. And you notice when Porsha was talking about her new opportunities, she didn't talk about her spinoff. Bravo has not done any promotions. Bravo has not done any teasers. Bravo has not done any trailers. Is that surprising? No, because the person she's with, the person she's letting stand in front of her bags, the person, this man, forget about who it is, this man, I would say to any woman that's ever been with a man that is destructive energy as opposed to nourishing energy, right? It's not about the money. It's not about what you can buy me. It's about how much you let me be the clearest version of myself and make sure that I'm always growing and always winning. Even the times I shoot my own self in the foot, you're still pushing me to make sure you got money, I got connections, let's do this. Instead, Simon's star has risen. Now, it's not risen enough to be verified on Instagram. We'll talk about that later, right? We'll talk about that later, even though Jalen and his 50,000 followers have gotten blue checked, right? But that's because they verify your work, what you do, and all this other stuff. And they verify whether you got real followers too. But that's another thing. Let's just move on. There's time for that tea, right? But I just want to say, right? I just want to say that Simon hasn't been verified, but people started paying attention. We talk about him in the street, right? We talk about all that stuff, but we need to ask ourselves, right? Simon's star is rising. Portia's star is sinking, especially considering that she literally was in the pinnacle. When she announced Pursuit of Porsha, I said, damn, that bitch stays winning. Go ahead, Porsha girl. When she announced that she was even doing that book until we saw what was going on with her personal life. Now, to get into the man he is, y'all can defend him all you want. You guys need to realize somebody can, first of all, Simon doesn't have money, but even if he did, do y'all realize when it comes to a man making you grow, it's not about the goddamn money. It's not about the money. It's about how he nourishes your soul. It's about how he feeds you. It's about how he stands beside you, protects you, is your right-hand man, guides you the wrong way. And yes, if you have money, you'll put your money where your mouth is, right? Oh, thank you. Thank you to Jewel Adams. Thank you, right? So we look at that. We look at the type of person. Y'all think, oh, he's not destructive energy. Let's look at the type of man he is. If you haven't watched my interview with his ex's Fallon, she drops tea. To me, it sounds like a relationship with a narcissist and very, very abusive. Fallon, listen, is Fallon an angel? No, but she'll be the first person to tell you she's not an angel. But what is it about Fallon? She's also an empath. Narcissists prey on empath. His wife before Fallon, empath, right? His first wife, probably an empath too, right? You look at Porsha, I don't know, right? But here's my point. Look at this person. Everybody, he sucks them dry like a vampire. He uses their beauty. He uses their connection. He uses their ideas, right? You're like, oh, but what about Fallon? Fallon was a housewife. But if you listen to Fallon, half the ideas he had for making money came out of Fallon's mind. He would take those ideas, use them at his own, but then he doesn't have a business mind, so they never really went anywhere. He takes ideas. He literally is a vampire in everything. It's not a symbiotic relationship. He is parasitic, and once he is done, he discards. Look at his children. Has anybody seen his damn children since they stopped spinning that special? I'll wait. His children, the ones that light up his lives, he went over to goddamn Nigeria. What are we doing? Why isn't his kids going to Nigeria to meet their family they never met? I'm being dead serious. These are the questions we need to ask. Where's his kids been since they stopped filming? Where? He was playing Daddy Dearest, having Porsha in the Howard Johnson pool area, playing mommy to the kids. And the kids are adorable kids. This is not shade to the kids. His kids are the best part of him. He has adorable kids. They must all take after their mothers because, right? But those 5 adorable kids he has, right? Where were they? We ain't seen now one of them since they stopped filming that special. Not one. He didn't remember to give his kid he didn't even remember to give one of his sons a goddamn happy birthday post on his Instagram on time. He literally remembered to post that shit 5 days later, like he was like a distant cousin or a play uncle. This is his kids that he just got done saying, "Oh, now I'm so honored and so blessed." Man, what are you doing? What are you doing? Everybody said, "Oh, he's a businessman." You mean like in the live when Porsha came up behind him and she was like, "Oh, my baby making moves." And if you zoom in on the thing, he's literally booking standard rate rooms at Hilton Honors. That isn't before I did peep that the real screen he was looking at, right? Was the Hilton Honors booking standard rate rooms. And Porsha drunk talking about some, well, I don't know if she was drunk. Let me stop sorry. But Porsha drunk in love talking about some, ooh, baby's working. But again, where's his kids been at? Those 5 cute kids, right? Where are those kids been at? Where have they been at since they stopped filming? Exactly. This is a man that said, you literally haven't been in Nigeria in how long? You're having a family reunion. You're taking who? Your new fiance? What about your kids? Your mom, bless her heart, beautiful woman, very proud home. You don't think she wants to see her grandbabies? If you haven't been home, if you've only been home 4 times in 40 years, you don't think the grandparents want to see the grandma want to see the babies? You don't see the cousins want to see? But see, that's the thing. The cameras weren't there. They weren't rolling. So there was literally no point, right? There was literally no point at all for him to bring it because everything's for show. Now, y'all did send me something saying that he posted because I don't follow him on Instagram. I don't have time. I don't have time. I really don't have time. But I have time to, act up, right? Hey, Alicia. Thank you, Alicia M. Savory. Thank you, Mama, for the super chat on my Cash App, right? Let's go here, right? We have why is she minimizing her potential by being with this leech? Now she's unemployed with a coloring book coming out. Listen, I am going to have a book review, a book club for the Pursuit of Porsha, because I just love going there. But let's actually get into this, right? So she's sitting there, right? And I see that you guys sent me something saying he posted something saying Porsha Gabodi are calling. Simon's there facing the camera, right? Facing the camera, and you see he's at the Costa Rican place, right? The Costa Rican rental, right? You see he's at the Costa Rican thing, and he's telling her, he's saying, I miss you. He's encouraging her to come home. This, you guys, it doesn't matter how much money a man has. When are we as women going to realize, or anyone going to realize, when somebody in a relationship does not wish us well, when they don't wish us well? You went from having all this to now he's saying he missed you in his Costa Rica mansion. You're American. Your job is in America. What the hell are you doing leaving Atlanta? Or even, I could even say if he said, oh, let's move to Los Angeles to come play what? Housewife? And it's not mommy, because you don't be having those kids around, in his Costa Rica mansion. This, with all your opportunity and all your light and all your charisma, this is what's come to fail. This is what's come to pass. This is the dream for all y'all saying, I'd do it. Y'all think you would because you assume that if somebody has money, they would be supportive of you. It's different. It's different. It's different when somebody does not wish you well, when somebody wants to shrink you so that they shine. Shimon's star has risen. Nobody knew who that Ewok was before Fallon, right? Nobody knew. We only cared about Fallon. Even then, I remember on Real Housewives, we didn't even know who he was. And everybody was just like, ew, who's that guy sitting in the back? And it's just like, ew, that's Fallon's husband, right? His weird energy was coming off the street. Now he's on Porsha. Nobody even cares except for Porsha. But how is it that Portia's the one losing all the bags? And Simon, of course, I do have some tea about what he was doing in Nigeria. I'll send that for a different video. But I do have some tea about what was going on and how their Nigerian thing advocate, right? And how in Nigeria, nobody respected him. Nobody knew. And the whole point of him, right? The whole point of this was him trying to see if he can get a couple dollars and a couple of business deals, and nobody in Nigeria was checking with him. But I'm going to do a separate video about that because I want to stick to why Porsha was left, right? Now, getting back to what I was saying about Simon, nobody knows him in Nigeria. Nobody knows him in Atlanta. Nobody knows him in Miami, right? Nobody knows him. Everybody knew Fallon, right? Fallon put him on. We only cared about him from Fallon. Y'all can say what y'all want about Fallon. They didn't invite Simon to hold a peach. They invited Fallon. And quiet as kept, don't forget, when they were first filming those scenes, right? And it has been confirmed, Simon kept trying to walk them around, wanted them to film cars. He wanted to be on camera. And the producer's like, can you just go? We want the ladies there. Simon tried to be a Peter Thomas, and producers are like, you are no Peter Thomas. Now, we have all this going on. The producers see it. When you saw, I told you guys a few days ago when I posted that Porsha was in Vegas doing a last minute ditch PR attempt. They were in negotiations. Porsha was asking for all this money, and it wasn't even a lot more money. It was just a standard rate. But she was saying that the one thing that was off limits was her relationship, and she was making demands about who she was going to film with. This is word on the street, who she's going to film with, what she was going to be doing. She was trying to dictate like she still ran shit. But Bravo was like, one, if you ran shit, then we would have had higher ratings last season. Last season's ratings were super low. Two, that's your storyline. Bravo's gotten long criticized for not letting reality come in. Shit happens on the web, and then they try to act like it didn't happen. So Bravo's like, no, we have to be like a little bit, and plus we're getting criticized, all this other stuff. Three, Porsha showed to them last season that she was not enough to be a nexus to tie the show together. She was noone. Oh, you guys, we're at 513. Let me drop that link. Sorry, guys. Let me drop the link. I'll start letting you guys come on one at a time to actually talk and give me your thing. She was no. Hey, what's up, Rim? Thank you. You guys, I also do have memberships for $4.99. Go ahead and sign up for that. I'm going to be delivering exclusive tea, right? And also, let me put my Cash App on the screen just in case y'all want to sprinkle me with a little whatever, in case y'all want to help me get a background, help me line up everything. Yes, I know I can buy my own background, but why don't y'all just support? Maybe I need to go to college. Maybe I need to be educated. Why don't y'all just do that? Now, back to what I was saying, right? So secondly, Bravo was like, you've already proved that you can't be a nexus because you were a very divisive force. Two, you proved that you can't carry it. We gave you a shot. Ratings were in the toilet. Three, the one thing that everything's interested in that you lied to us about, right? That you lied to us about was your relationship. And the fact that you are now dictating who does what and says what, that's not your job. Y'all can keep saying that Porsha resigned, but tell me in the real world, when you go to your boss and you say, I want a raise, how do you walk out that office resigning? How do you walk down that office, walk out that office with no job? Or is it better that she literally, it wasn't playing hardball, but she was trying to protect this man that is leading her down the wrong road. Speaking of which, wrong road. I have you up. I'll bring you up in a second. Let me just finish this point. But three, right? Four, and this is the angle that nobody sees, and I'm about to drop it to you. Let me tell you something. Porsha and Kenya always go at it. The Bravo thing is, right? Listen, the Bravo thing is that there always has to be a villain, right? And there has to be a sweetheart. Or there has to be the fan favorite, and there has to be the nemesis to the fan favorite. Kenya has firmly been, since she came on the screen, I do believe she's playing a role because everybody that knows Kenya Moore has said that she is sweet as pie. Everybody loves her. Everybody like whatever, right? Kenya is the resident villain. She is. There's no wrong. And Kenya, she understands the assignment. She comes and she plays her role. Kenya understands the goddamn assignment, and I love Kenya for it, right? Kenya has always been the nemesis to Porsha. However, now that they're trying to revamp and they're trying to move things in place, and follow me on this, y'all, because this is something real. This is what everybody's missing, and y'all need to consider this. So on that aspect, the Real Housewives of Atlanta can't really afford to let go of Kenya. You see, they tried with that Dancing with the Stars and tried to pull rank and me like, you ain't doing nothing. And Kenya pushed back and said, excuse me? And they said, okay, fine. And Kenya was like, that's what I thought. I'll be there on season 14. You see how Dancing with the Stars, there was negotiations for Kenya not to do Dancing with the Stars. And you see what happened. Kenya walked out that room with her job. And she walked out with 2 jobs, Dancing with the Stars. Porsha, take the note. That's how you do in negotiations. But that's what happens when they really, really want you. You walk out with 2 jobs because they know you're valuable and they really, really want you, right? Thando, what's going on, Thando? Hold on, guys. Sorry, guys. So, anyway, like I was saying, right? Kenya walked out with 2 jobs. That's how you do negotiations, but that's what happens when your bosses really want you. Now, follow me on this. Do you know why Porsha was let go? You know why? The secret is in the Love B. Scott's thing that they're hoping to get camera time with NeNe. Y'all, it's more than a hope. NeNe, they want NeNe back. They want NeNe back. They want to bring her back. NeNe realizes that she's a hot commodity right now. NeNe realizes she's a hot commodity right now. They are in negotiations. They are even them saying, oh, they hope we get some camera time with NeNe. That was code for, yo, come back. But here's the thing. The Real Housewives of Atlanta budget is getting smaller and smaller and smaller, right? Because ratings are down, down, down. You can have a show without a Porsha. But you can't have a show without a Kenya because it's going to be too much trouble to replace the antagonist. They don't have anybody that understands the assignment like Kenya does. And these new girls, they can't depend on them to come and bring the energy that Kenya brings. But let me tell you something. Kenya and Porsha are good. Kenya and NeNe are magic. And if you're trying to get NeNe back and NeNe understands her worth, right? Where's the money for NeNe's salary coming from if they're trying to cut? Oh, I know where it's coming from. Let's get rid of Porsha. And now we have even more money to offer NeNe. Let's get into Porsha, get rid of Porsha, and let's have even more money to offer NeNe because the goal is to bring NeNe Leakes back. And NeNe is not coming back cheap because NeNe knows the way those people do. NeNe put them on blast, and NeNe understands the damn assignment. NeNe understands the assignment and she knows where the money's at. And unlike Porsha, she knows how to get to the bag. NeNe and Kenya are gold. And this is the beautiful thing about NeNe and Kenya. When they argued, I'm about to get to my caller ends in 1 second, right? Hold tight, you guys. When they argued, it was good for ratings. And guess what? When they made up and when they were friends, it was good for ratings too. So you got NeNe, you got Sheree, you got Kenya, you got Marlo, right? And you got Candy, and you got them all. Forget the new girls. The new girls could be great, but right now we don't know. We have to see how they turn out. They could be great, and we could be talking about them next season. I don't know. But let's talk about what we do know. So look at this. NeNe and Sheree team up, and they go, no, NeNe and Kenya argue. Sheree's being messy in between. NeNe and Kenya are friends. Sheree's still being messy. You see how that formula works? And Candy's right there laughing and helping us along and showing us all her glamorous life about the big things she's doing with her Broadway play or with getting money or doing this, right? Candy's showing us like how a true boss behaves. Her and Todd, a true power couple. That's the goal. That's really why with the negotiations, why Kenya got into negotiations and a little clash with Bravo and walked out with 2 jobs. And Porsha got into Porsha got into it and walked out without 1 job. Y'all can say she wasn't fired, but what does it do when you go to your boss to ask for a raise and you walk out with no job? What does it mean? It means that they were already planning on getting rid of your ass, but since you spoke up, they're just like, yeah, sit down, let's have this conversation. Not only do I not think you're worth the raise, but let's just part praise. Now, here's the thing, right? Andy did say he considers it a pause. First of all, Andy Cohen built Bravo, but he is no longer in charge of Bravo. He has Watch What Happens Live, and yeah, he has a voice. People pay attention to him, but he's not running shit over at Bravo. He's not. He does have an opinion. Andy says he considers a pause. Okay, Andy, you consider this a pause. What's Andy got to do with shit? What's Andy got to do with shit? Also, right? Also, if we want to talk about him saying he considers a pause, it's a pause because they're testing bringing Nene back. And if the show's ratings return with Nene and that whole dynamic, Porsche ain't being asked back because what do we need you for? And if it doesn't return, then they might consider it. That's why he said it's a pause. That's why he said it's a pause. She got let go, or she was allowed to leave. Not even like she got let go so they could make room with the salary, with the negotiation money, and to bring fucking Nene back and try to bring this shit back to its dawn. They tried this whole nieces versus auntie shit. It's not working. For whatever reason, they cannot get a younger demographic to get involved with Real Housewives of, right? Now, yes, Miara Candle said she played herself with Simon. You did all this because you wanted to protect this goddamn relationship. If you really wanted to protect this relationship, you need to send your friends out to the goddamn Red Martini and all the other lounges in Atlanta to really check on what your man's doing. When you think he's at business meetings, right? But you know what? Quiet as is kept. Quiet as is kept. Simon's business meetings are occurring at a hotel room, the St. Regis, the Hiltons, if he doesn't think you're worth St. Regis. Quiet as is kept. That is where his business meetings occur, in a hotel room. Just like we saw him when he said, oh, my baby's taking care of business. Booking hotel rooms that you won't be in, Porsha, right? Now, let's get into this. Valerie, thank you for the super chat, Valerie. Yes. Now, let's get into this because I'm about to bring Thandle and Wrong Road into this. I think that's Miriam, if I'm not mistaken. But this is why Porsha was let go. That does not mean they won't bring her back, because didn't they let Kenya go and bring her ass back because they saw the show couldn't survive without Kenya? Didn't they let Nene go and they want to bring her ass back several times because the show couldn't survive without Nene, right? They're doing the same thing to Porsha. The only thing is, I know once Nene gets on, right? Who knows? Another, and this is the last thing not last thing I'm gonna say, I got more to say, but let me just say this last thing before I bring the callers on. Another thing that you guys aren't considering is the network is also looking at Porsha's little extended commercial that they haven't been promoting to and haven't been putting much money into, right? They're thinking, listen, if people are really, really, really following, and people are really, really, really that down for Porsha, right? If we get her on a spinoff, we can still get all Porsha's fans to come watch her show. And we can still rebuild Housewives because now we got Nene, now we got Kenya, now we got Sheree, now we got Candy. The boys are back in town, right? It's a party, yay. That's what they're thinking. They're like, I got money in the bank. Listen, that's what they're thinking. We do the same thing on YouTube. I can have a long live for 3 hours, and I do this because my OGs that listen to my lives full, I know y'all listen while you're cleaning the house, or while you're getting dressed, or while you're going to work, or while you're trying to ignore someone that's getting on your nerves. So I do my 2-hour lives for you. But if I was really trying to chop shit up and make money, I would take the same information and release it, right? The same information and release it in 10, 20, in like 10 different videos. You know why? Because every time you click, it's giving me more views. So I can get one video and this shit will probably do good, right? My videos do okay, right? And maybe get 10,000 views off of this, or I can chop the set into 10 videos and get 10,000 views and get 8,000 views on each video. And now instead of 10,000 views, I got 80,000 views. We do it even on YouTube. I just put y'all down to some YouTube game. This is why a lot of your faves, and let me not talk shit because I'll probably end up doing it too. That's why a lot of y'all faves keep regurgitating the same thing, because they chop it up to get more views. It's fine. Everybody got to make money, right? Everybody has to eat, right? Everybody has to eat. But this is what Bravo was thinking, the same thing. Yo, we got this thing. Here's the thing. If Portia's spinoff does well, then it's more money for all of us. We can all eat, and we still got her viewers. If it doesn't do well, then oh well, we didn't invest much money into it, because how much could a pool, like filming at a pool in Howard Johnson cost, right? We didn't invest that much money into it. And on top of it, it now lets us know, right? It now lets us know that Porsha doesn't really have the pull with her social media that they think. So now she becomes less important. Now she becomes less important. Yo, is Hustler and the Housewives in? Hustler and Housewives YouTuber. I heard that you were in the chat, right? Let's get this. Hustler and Housewives, can you please DM me on Instagram? I would love to have you on my show. or I'll come on your channel, but I really want to connect with you. I'm huge fan, right? Hustlers and Housewives said, I see production finally giving up, trying to appeal to a younger audience. It's just not enough of a younger fan base, too much reality TV competing for their attention. I completely agree. What else is he saying? Hold on. Hustlers and Housewives said, and you guys go on and follow Hustlers and Housewives. He has an amazing YouTube channel, right? People are not watching the spinoff that is not authentic. I think ratings will be pretty decent if they keep it right after Real Housewives of Atlanta. I don't know about that. Hustler and Housewives, I gotta disagree because all of Porsha's spinoffs came right after Real Housewives of Atlanta and none of them did anything. Again, I'm hoping for Porsha's sake because I really don't want her to be at the mercy of a man that is a chronic cheater and uses women to make a move up, right? Now let's bring on my guests, right? We're gonna bring on comments. Everybody's gonna have a chance to talk. Let's bring on Tando, and of course the lovely Miriam. Tando, and Miriam.
Hello.
How are y'all doing? What's going on?
I'm up and about.
Hi
And
guys.
Wait,
It's
before we start,
Nikita.
hold on. Hey, what's up? Oh, I love your Abby Tando, and I see that Miriam is looking amazing. Yo, before I start, I just want to say, you guys, I'm dropping the tea. I want to say I broke the story short. I told y'all months ago what Bravo was trying to do with Real Housewives of Atlanta. I told y'all months ago that Porsha was fired. I told y'all months ago what was going on. Now, I know I'm saying I told you so, but here's why it took me so long to get the tea. Usually, I'm going to use Karen Huger. I usually got 3-week action, right? Whenever I give you guys tea, I make sure it's verified by 3 independent sources. Quiet as it's kept, I'll even inbox the people I'm talking about and being like, do you have a comment? They never say they do, but I use 3 independent variable sources. And I bring you the tea saying, okay, this is legit. There's so much other tea I get that literally might only have one source or maybe 2 sources, and it's not enough to blast it publicly, but it's enough to be like, okay, I think this is going to be something. If you sign up for my membership, it's only $4.99 a month. It's going to be 2 or 3 times a month. We're having one this Friday or Saturday. It's going to be a members only live chat, and by members only, it's going to be a private live chat. So if you're shy, you don't have to worry about the whole world seeing you. We will just chat. We'll cause out. I'll give you all my conspiracy theories. I'll give you all my guesses. We're doing 3 wickets for the public. We're doing 1 week, and we're going to light that room up with a messy, beautiful scent. My memberships are $4.99. Go ahead and join. You can cancel at any time. What do you have to lose? Buy me a cup of coffee, right? But we are going to really start getting in, and it's going to be fun. The only thing that I say is whoever is in the live chat is confidential information, so don't go spreading it around. But I trust y'all. Now, Miriam, Thando. Let's start with Miriam, and we'll go to Tando. And I'm also going to drop the link because we're going to have a bunch of you guys calling in and letting you know. And I'm going to spill even more tea. But let's just see where the crowd's going. Miriam, go. What do you think?
well, I think it's negotiations gone wrong. I tried to have topics off limits because she thought she was the shit. And I agree with everything you said. Everything you said from the beginning. She gave us a lot of eye rolling, and she didn't want to engage with anybody other than her followers, Shamia and her sister and Drew at the end. But even Drew, like, it was hard to have as a follower. They're gone wrong, and she is pissed. She didn't want to face the heat. She got out of the kitchen. uh, I think they gave her back because people counter. Like, you get an offer and then you counter. When you counter, you are at the danger of having your offer rescinded, and that's what happened.
Well, here's the thing, but I agree with you. However, it goes on to say they want her salary to offer to Nene to
Oh
bring
yeah,
Nene back because
it wasn't giving
Kenya
money.
went in there with not even one job because contracts hadn't been sent out. She went into that office with 0 jobs. They wanted her to quit. She walked out with 2. Why? Because they know they needed Kenya. Now, Anne said Portia and Simon going to start a YouTube channel like the Peaches and the
Oh
Beast.
my
Yeah.
God.
Tando, what's your take on this?
I
I
mean,
get
I
out
think
and come back later, okay?
Oh, okay, babe. No problem,
But I'm
Marianne.
listening. I'm listening.
Okay, definitely. Hop back in when you can. You know your family. Okay, what's your take on this? And also, I'm dropping the link for anybody that wants to call in and give their comments. Go on, then.
Okay. I think Porsha is just running away from taking accountability. We all know that Porsha does not like accountability, and I think she was just scared of Kenya because she knew that Kenya was gonna grill her. She was busy throwing Kenya shade about being a hoe from the 90s and being a homewrecker. Turns out she's the actual homewrecker. So I think she's scared that her image has changed and she's running away from taking accountability. And she didn't win at the negotiation table, unfortunately for her.
Um,
So,
yes, unfortunately for her. Now, would you be? Are you going to be watching Portia's spinoff? And also, since Portia's out, second question I want you to answer: are you interested in seeing actually Fallon and her journey?
you know what? I actually don't know. I don't think I'll be that interested. And also, we don't have Bravo here, like the episodes a year later. So I'll probably just
Ah,
watch highlights and stuff like that because I'm in South Africa. And then with Fallon, I'd like to see her. I'd like to see that dynamic. I don't know how her story is gonna go now that Portia's not there, but I do think she has something to offer on the show. But it would have been, I think, magical TV for them to be on the show together and her getting to confront Portia about, her dirty deeds.
you know what? That's an actual good point. Here's the thing: I don't think that Portia, and I agree with your points. The only thing is, I don't think that Fallon needs to confront Portia because at the end of the day, I will say something about Fallon. She's way more mature than I am, right? But to the point of Fallon has always made it seem like I don't. Portia is no one to me, and at the end of the day, the person that I have anything to resolve with is Simon. That now Simon probably let this get him camera time, but word on the street is Fallon was always Simon's weakness, and Simon is a bit afraid of Fallon because Fallon, even though I mean it's weird, but it's almost like the only person that can speak to the monster can't control the monster, but you can make the monster kind of like pause. Fallon knows where all the bodies are buried. She knows even more than what she said about Simon's fake world, and I feel like being a Taurus sister, she would literally just let that shit go, right? In a very elegant way, so that everybody would see that Simon was a fraud. So in that way, right? So in that way, I would definitely, right? Yeah, I just don't think that Portia could walk a day in Fallon's shoes, But I do like that angle that Fallon is there to talk about what happened and to talk about and actually, if Simon, but we see Simon's not going to be there, even though I'm sure that even though Portia's not there, if they gave Simon a roll call and a sheet, his ass would show up and be like, yes, reporting for
Okay,
you.
he'd grab the peach.
He would leave Portia where she stood, right? Yeah, right? Listen, I think that but here's the thing. A lot of people think that Portia isn't as when I say is strong, I just don't think that Portia realized what she actually bit off on Simon. Again, I hope I'm wrong because I actually don't wish misery on Portia. I really do just wish she would wake up. It's so frustrating when you see people, and yes, it's a parasocial relationship. I don't know Portia, but I know about the man, Simon Gabodia. And it's just so distressing when you see someone literally kind of spiraling down. It's hard because how do you save someone that doesn't want to be saved? How do you save someone that's cursing you out the whole time? Like literally, how do you save them? You almost can't, right? Oh, Gennaro. Thank you, Gennaro Miller. And also, really quick, you guys, I want to pause and welcome all the new members of Tattle Tells. Let's go through roll call. We got B, my moderator extraordinaire. Love you, girl. We got Val. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm just going to go really quick through. We got Pamela Purford. What's up, Pamela? We got Maria's. We got, I saw Morar Candle Company, Gloria, Agatha. We got who else do we have? We have so many people in there today. And we have new members to the Tattle Tells too. Let's get these new common thread. What's up, Morar Candle Company? If you guys love good smelling candles. Go on and give her thing a shout out. Who else do we have? Angie Winston, thank you for the super chat. I'm just going back up to see who all my new members. Oh, Mickey on the beat. What's up? I love that. Murder on the beat, and it's not nice. Booty so big. My Lord, have mercy. Okay, we got Betty Johnson. Let me focus, y'all. I know y'all like ADD and super effect. We got Mickey on the beat. Lord, have mercy. Okay, who else do we have? Oh, we got new super chat members. Let's see. Oh, we got Margarita Washington. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Culinaire, welcome, Mama. Oh, thank you, Culinaire. You didn't have to do that, but I appreciate you. Thank you, girl. Who else do we have? We have, I'm trying to get to all these super chats. They're just disappearing. Well, I'll shout you guys out in a second. You guys, get ready. Get ready for the members only live chat tomorrow. It's going to be fantastic. I'm trying to see who everybody is signing up, but you know, YouTube is always hating on me. So thank you, thank you, thank you to all the people signing up in my members only live stream. I will sign you guys, shout you guys out definitely. But I also want to say, get ready for this live stream, y'all. It's going to be juicy. And you guys can ask me whatever you want because I know so much tea. You guys can actually get into the gossip. And we'll do it, right? We just have to keep it confidential. Now, let's get into this. So I want to know, let me drop the link for people to come up and talk. Listen, this is interesting, Thando, right? What would you feel about what would you feel about Nene coming back? Are you excited about that? I know I am, right?
I
Yes,
mean,
welcome
I
to the
love
fam.
Nene.
Go on, I'm
I
sorry.
love Nene. I think she's iconic. I mean, every week there's a new meme about Nene. So, I mean, I don't mind her coming back. I love her. She has a lot to bring to the show. But I don't know. I think Bravo is just exploiting her for what she's going through right now. I mean, it will benefit her as well,
Mhm.
but you know how
I agree
Bravo
with
is.
you. Bravo, reality TV in itself is exploitive. I agree with you. But I just have this thing that I think that Fallon is smart enough to navigate it. And also because she got a crash course in reality TV, she did mention a lot of people didn't teach her. She's smart enough to realize, and also because she'll be telling her story and not trying to manage um not manage making Simon feel like he's the king of the castle. I see Portia's doing this. I see Simon's doing this, and Portia is always pushing him up and hyping him up, just like Fallon was pushing him up and hyping him up. But at the end of the day, Simon is parasitic. But I want to see Fallon. I think that she can manage the exploitive nature. I think she's a smart cooking. And now that she doesn't have Simon in her ear, she doesn't have to worry about like her husband. Fallon did what a wife should. You protect your husband, right? If somebody is your mate,
Mm,
that's why I don't blame Portia, but I do because it's like, Portia, you literally saw somebody that wasn't ish, you know? That's where I feel now, right? Listen, I will say, oh, Fallon's in the chat. What's going on, you guys? I'm dropping this link for anybody to come check. Thank you so much, Stando, for dropping in the chat. I really appreciate it. So, you guys, thank you so
alrighty.
much, Stando. Bye, and make sure you call in again. Thank you for
Bye.
calling us from South Africa. Bye bye. So here's all I'm saying, right, you guys? Back to what I was saying. Everybody say thank you to Thando and bye to Daniel, right? Let me get my thermostat. This is my roller coaster, all right? Y'all talking about when I'm overseas, it's the palm tree, and when I'm not, it's the thermostat. So listen, right? Um, uh, so listen, here's the thing, right? So this is why Porsha was really let go, and this is why they didn't fight for her. Again, for those people saying it was contract negotiations gone wrong, it's only contract negotiations when you walk into an office to ask your boss for a raise and you walk out without a job. One, the bosses were already thinking about firing you, and they were looking to get around to it. But they kind of let that shit brew until you opened your mouth and said, "But wait, what's up? But wait, I want a raise." And that's when they're just like, "Oh, that's right. Shut the door. Come on in. Shut the door. We need to talk. We're not happy if you're part of this and that." Again, I think the reason that they're doing this, and this is what my sources are telling me, is because they're trying to get more money for Nene. Now, I will say this could go the other way. If Nene does not want to come back, and it is her offer to act turn down, right? If Nene does not want to come back, well then, that is If Nene does not want to come back, then that's her own business. Then they might, as a last minute thing, bring Porsha in later in the season if they see that the season is not giving what it's supposed to be giving. That's no secret. They did that to Nene last time. But as of now, because of the way she's divisive, because of the way she has not carried the show, because of the way that they need the real queen of Atlanta, and I do believe that Atlanta is two kingdoms. Kenya is a king of Atlanta. Nene is a queen of Atlanta. They just have two separate kingdoms. Sometimes the kingdoms are getting along, and sometimes the kingdoms are warring. Right? We need to remember that. Right? Listen. Right? Let's see. Okay, let's address this. Rants and Legend said, "What did Porsha do to you? You really cannot." I don't understand. Are we not supposed to talk about this? This is anyway, girl. Anyway, somebody explain to that girl why we're doing this. This is our football team, right? No one is taking money out of Portia's thing, but I can talk about her negotiations. And you know what? I will. So you know what? It is what it is. Check your DM. Oh, you guys also. What's up, Mel NYC? Also, I just want to. You know what? I will. So you know what? Mel, it is what it is. Check your. No, hold on. Thank you, Mel. So listen, I just want to also say, this is a little aside. Almighty Mac, y'all always want to know. Listen, next time y'all see me, hopefully I'll be sitting on my hair. I'm getting inches, I'm getting bundles. Y'all know I don't like putting heat in my own normal hair. So whenever you see me straight hair, it's always some type of hair. Almighty Mac, follow him on Instagram. That is my hair hookup. And when y'all see the bundles, y'all gonna see it for a while, right? So I'm gonna check the DM. Wrote me about IG about the hair. There we go, Almighty Mac. Now let's bring up Mel, New York City Reviews. Mel, what you got for us? What do you have for us, Mel? What do you think of all this? I really got to know.
Well, good evening, sister. How you doing? How you doing?
Also, and Mel, New York City Reviews. Follow him on Instagram. He just started his YouTube channel. Listen, the first time he came in to my live, I was like, I feel the energy. Let's vibe. Y'all know he is a frequent contributor for my Real Housewives recaps and any other thing he feels like it. But I finally convinced him to start his YouTube channel. Go on and subscribe. He's still getting the content perfect for you guys. He's the perfectionist. I just give y'all what y'all get, right?
That's right.
Go ahead and get him a follow so you guys can be the first to get some of his hot stuff. All right, go ahead, Mel. Go on, Mel.
Thank you. Oh my God, you're too sweet. All right, so yeah, so Nene, I hope she comes back, and I think that what you were saying is true. So it always so the shows itself with the Housewives, they always feel like, I don't know, it feels like sometimes it's a big miss sometimes with these conversations. Like, I don't understand why Nene and Kenya really had these big issues. I understand that Kenya was totally insulted when she was pregnant, and she felt like Nene really went low, and maybe for the most part she did. I still love Nene, but in a way I wish that they can sort of be businesswomen and go, you know what, girl, listen, we're gonna make this show hot. We're gonna make this show good. Oh, I'm sorry. No, I just think that sometimes they need to really just sort of put things aside and think about business and just think, we're gonna make this show together. It's been hurting since we had a falling out, and let's try to get this franchise together.
Okay, I definitely see that. So what do you think about the thing about Porsha being, what do you think, the people saying that Porsha was not fired? Granted, I didn't say, they said, get the hell out of here and kick her down the stairs. I didn't say they were disrespectful and rude. I didn't say she was escorted out by the security guard with her belongings in a box, crying, her head hung in shame, while the feds went to arrest her for embezzling. No. However, what do you think about my logic that's just like, whenever you walk into an office to negotiate and you leave with new job, what does that say? They were thinking about letting you go anyway. Fired has a negative connotation, but for right now, I believe that they were comfy with Porsha leaving, because why else would they let their cash cow go? Because Kenya, like I said, she walked in with no jobs and left with two,
Right. Well, I think you were right. I think that, quite frankly, I think that Porsha leaving might be good for the show, probably. Or her not being there might be good for the show.
Okay. Why do you think it would be good for the show?
I just think I think it's really just too muddled right now. I think that I don't know. I think that we need something new, because I think ever since her and Phaedra had that big dust up with Kandi, it's been very heavy. So we need something to be a little different, a little new. And I'm tired of all of them having these big blow ups and conversations behind the scenes, and she's pretty good at that. She really don't give a lot to the show, and I mean a lot in front of the camera, and
Okay.
she does a lot of things behind the scenes, and yeah, I just need something different right at this point. I hope Nene comes back. I mean, excuse me, Kenya, I loved her at one point. I loved her big time. And I hope that maybe she can be an observer, not really a person pushing the story, but just there to observe and be her sweet self. Because I like her when she's sweet. I don't like her when people just, when she's coming out with the candy lady, the cookie lady, I don't like all those things. I would say this, Tisa. So when she first came on the show,
Mhm.
I was obsessed with Kenya. Obsessed.
Me too.
I could not. So okay, T. When I first got into Housewives of Atlanta, it was almost like a soap opera. I was there every Sunday to see what is Apollo going to do, what is Phaedra going to do. That triangle
Go
hooked me.
away with this Apollo. Go away from me with this Apollo. That
Yeah,
was legendary.
that triangle had me hooked. So I was on her side. I was like one of her little minions on Twitter. Like, no, don't talk to her. Don't do this. And she saw my tweet. And she DM'd me on Twitter and said, listen, email me some of these reads. I think at one point I told her, I
Oh
said,
wow.
Kenya, yes, this was 2014. And then also her friend Brandon said, yeah, you got it. And we were DM and we were talking. And I said, Kenya, why are you letting Phaedra read you like this? You got to ask Phaedra point blank. Phaedra, when was the last time Apollo brought anything in that house that didn't involve identity theft? That was one of the things I was saying. And she said, okay, you got to email me and whatever. So when Phaedra left, I don't know. She became more the aggressive, more the person just sort of going after people or reacting very bigly, and it didn't feel like a part of her character. I feel like I didn't feel like she was really bothered by the ladies. I feel like that was part of the show because a lot of the shade they were giving. Yeah, what happened? What happened? What's
Oh
going
no,
on?
sorry. Keep going. No, I was saying, oh wow. Also, Tina Chris 31085. Thank you for signing up as a new member. SS Pride, thank you for signing up as a new member. Thank you
Yes, we need
guys.
more. We need. What I was going to say. We need more members in this sector of all positivity. I'm going to say this because you don't really talk about yourself. But what I'll say this is, it's rare to deal with somebody on YouTube, in front of the screen and behind, who is the same way. That's all I'll say. The same exact way. There's no exposure. There's no trickery. You are this way behind. So we need. I like that people come in. That's what I've been saying in the chat. It's like it's a safe place. It's a safe place to be right here in Miss Tisha's
Oh,
universe and in her universe right here. So it's all
oh,
safe.
you just kept me up, kept me up. I love it. Listen, but I will say this, like, I agree with you. Y'all, do you remember that epic scene with Apollo and they were in the pool and Kenya was walking up the stairs in her swimsuit
Hmm.
and the tension was so thick.
Yeah.
The tension was so thick you could cut it in a knife. And Apollo, the sexual tension was so crazy that when she went up, because Kenya put her head down and walked up, Apollo couldn't help himself. The cameras was on him. Phaedra was on him. Peter was like, dummy, don't do it. And he had to look to see how that
That's
thing was
right.
going and coming. That was something. That was my CTV, right?
Yeah. So for me, okay. So when she says, okay, they talking about my can you get more hair care and they talking about my children. Well, the children, I agree with her. So I love Nene. So when she was coming after her for that, listen, I was Team Kenya in that moment. But everything else was just over. It's just over exaggeration. I think that she needs to be the observer and not really be so aggressive all the time. And then we can love her again. But because of you were saying that she was having issues with the Dance with the Stars and being on the show at the same time, and thinking that is crazy because when the white counterparts, whether it be Erica Jane or or Lisa Vanderpump and all these people, they didn't have any issues. And the one year that this woman decides to, do something different, it doesn't even have to involve the grandmother. She wanted to do it because she wanted to do it. Why? Why? Everybody else had a chance to promote their businesses. Yeah,
Listen,
come
that
on.
was crazy. No, that was crazy. I was surprised, but again, Kenya knew how to do it. She walked out with both jobs. Now, it's not gonna, and we're talking about Kenya on the Real Housewives with her storyline because apparently they want to go straight into that old tired thing of what's going on with her and Mark and Brooklyn. Let me tell you something. I am not interested
Hmm.
in seeing Kenya
Well,
suffer for a season. Just like I'll be honest with you, I'm not interested in seeing a Porsche come back. I'm not interested in seeing Porsha suffer for a whole season. I'm over that, like, really machoistic, like, just, oh, stop, right? Why do we know this? Because the storyline she could have, which is Dancing with the Stars, they don't want to have it. Dancing with the Stars will be over by the time Real Housewives actually airs. So it's not like you're giving the show publicity. And the whole thing with sorry guys. Hold on 1 second. Sorry
Okay.
guys.
Hi, I'm seeing. I can't see the screen name. Hello.
Hi.
How you doing?
Good.
Okay, so what you thinking about Miss Kenya?
It's not about Kenya. It's about the whole Porsche situation. It's somewhat sad, but London Bridge is falling down for Porsha Williams. If you notice, each season she has been on a decline. She started on this show sweet. Cardell doesn't allow me to go to strip clubs. Then each season she has been on a decline. Now, this past season, season 13, you go to this lady's house, swim in her pool, wear some of her clothes, then you end up with her husband. That's a horrible look for Bravo, and they thought about that. Now you looking foolish at Tiffany and Company, buying him an engagement ring, apparently coming off as sloppy drunk. It's not a good look for their brand. The whole situation with her and Simon is crazy. Everything about it is disastrous. And I'm not even a fan of hers. I'm not crazy about her, but I'm somewhat scared for her. Because she doesn't know what she's getting herself into, but she's not a baby. She's a 40-year-old woman. And she took somebody's husband. The viewers would never forget it, ever.
True. Listen, she did. So her thing as America's sweetheart. But I just want to distinguish because I think this is what you're also saying. Hard head makes for a soft behind. I literally do wish Porsche the best, but I don't care how much I can't stand a woman. I will never wish that they are under the thumb of an abusive man. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. And I know you're saying the same thing, Lily, right? It frustrates you because you're like, how can you have all these gifts and you're letting them just go to hell because you are literally running after a man that has proven several times that he's not worth it, right?
Yes.
And we're not talking about, whether I think he's on the same level with her looks. I don't. Whether I think he's on the same level for intelligence. I don't. Whether I think he's worthy of her. I don't. But I'm not dating him. Let's take all that off the table. Let's talk about the way he treats people. Let's talk about the shit that he is in. Let's talk about this. And when I look at it, it's just like, what are you doing? Thank you so much, MCAT Nablib, also for the super chat. And thank you so much for all the new members, of course, right? Who just joined? Oh, Miss B's Corner. Thank you so much for joining. Welcome to the Tattle Tells. Now, let me ask you something. Are you happy with NeNe sucking up Portia's salary? And how do you feel about Fallon in some role on The Housewives? How do you feel about that?
I would be so happy to have NeNe back. She is missed on the show. And right now, she's in a place in her life because she's a mature woman. She's not like Porsha,
She
so
is.
gullible. She's a mature woman. She knows what it takes, and she understands the assignment. Fallon is a wonderful woman, no matter what people say, because I've been reading some of the comments. Let me tell you something. She fits the program right now. And she would get along well with everybody on there. Porsha,
Why do you think she fits the
new to
program? Let's
run.
go into that. Tell me why you think she fits the program. Let's get into that.
She is a mother. She has great children. She has a man that loves her, and they have a nice big home. She has a glamorous lifestyle, and she's very, very relaxed, laid back. But she has something to give the show, The Real Housewives of Atlanta, and she lives here.
Mm-hmm.
Porsha,
Okay.
I'm gonna tell y'all something. That show is not gonna do well, and it's so scary.
Not to interrupt you, but not only does she live here, but Fallon's from Atlanta. So
Yes.
she's Atlanta. She is a peach. She's a Georgia
Yes.
peach. So go on, Lily. I'm
Georgia
sorry.
Peach.
Yes.
And I'm telling y'all gonna tell me later on, I'm right. Porsha's show is not gonna do well. It's so effing scary how karma is getting her already. Karma is hitting people fast these days. It is scary. I'm telling you, I kind of feel scared for this girl, and I'm not even a fan of hers. But you get what you put out, and that's something you teach your children. What you put out in this world, you will get it back. And it's so scary, y'all, that it's tearing her egg apart now. It didn't even take a year for it to come back. So she don't even see what's happening.
Yeah. What I think too, and we maybe Atlanta needs a dash of Miss Karen to sit at the table. Porsche said, "Damn girl, you dizzy," because I think that for me, Porsha, I mean, yeah, I just think that she makes decisions sometimes that confuse me. The way she talks. If you ever watch her on her
Where's
YouTube,
the parental guidance? Even though she's 40 years old, my daughter is 29, and I still tell her about how life's supposed to go.
yeah,
Because
she
I
put it in.
live, so I know what it's about. Her mom has lived. Tell her, baby, you don't go to nobody's husband. It ain't gonna work. It just don't
Okay.
work. And the
Yeah.
people you think it has worked for in those households with them rich men, they live in hell. She
Yeah.
don't know what she don't got her ass into, y'all. It's scary. And I can't feel sympathy for her, but I'm scared for her
But I think,
because she
but
think it's
yeah,
gonna
but
be good.
so for me, I think that Portia, God love her, honey, God love her. But I think she's still in some way the same woman who thought the Underground Railroad was a real thing, that he was a real train. I think that maybe she is that person who can be naive, who can be not really that strategic in a way. I think that she's messy, and I think that she's not very I don't know. She just again, she's a little flighty. She's not really grounded in a way.
But she
And
comes from a prominent family here in
I
Louisiana. I
know, I know.
cannot comprehend this from her.
Yeah, I know. Excuse me.
She has parents. When you grow with parents, I don't know people that grew up with parents this gullible. I grew up without parents, and I got more sense than her. It doesn't make sense. It's like, who's guiding this woman? Who guided her from being a child, her upbringing? Who? It's as if she didn't have any. And I grew up without parents, and I got more sense than her.
Okay, so when you
It's
say you have
scary.
more, but when you say that you're scared, why exactly are you scared for her? Because this is something interesting and there's a lot of passion in your voice. So I really want to go into that. Before you do, I just want to tell everybody who is in the chat. Right now, we are spilling tea. We are on Porsha and what happened, why she wasn't asked back, the secret reason, where her salary is going, and also her current state of affairs. Where they're going to move into Kenya, we're going to move into Nene. What's going on with Nene, right? And also, uh, talk about Drew. Boo! I just, but you know what? I reserve the right to like. I reserve the right to like Drew because I don't know. Maybe it was like freshman. I don't know, freshman, whatever. But here's my whole point, right? Um, you guys, I'm having an exclusive tomorrow, members only live. It is going to be private. It is not going to be broadcast. It's going to be private to all the members. We guys can come. You can come on if you're shy. We can chat. We'll do the damn thing. If my membership is only $4.99 a month. Now, I do have to say, the members live chats I'll be having 2 or 3 times a month. What do you get with the members live chats? You get the tea. Now, if you guys notice, I was the one that broke. Porsha being fired months ago. I was the one that broke that Bravo was trying to do something funny. Real Housewives of Atlanta. Go on. And I started YouTube 5 months ago. Thank you for the tremendous growth. I've really grown a lot. But I did all that stuff with Bravo. I didn't predict this. I just actually had good sources. What tea do I bring you guys? Because it's always popping hot. I don't say anything. I'm like Karen Huger with those 3 wick candles. I do 3 independent verified sources. And they're coming back with the same thing. I literally say, okay, this must be legit. And sometimes I reach out to the goddamn people themselves to see if I can get a fourth. A lot of times they tell me to go to hell. It's okay. I get cursed out so that y'all can drink the tea. I've gotten cursed out plenty of times. It's okay. I can take it. However, when you sign up for my channel, the first members only live is going to be tomorrow. It's $4.99. You can cancel at any time. We are going to be talking about that 1 wick. So the sources, the drama, the tea I have, that there's only one source or maybe 2 source, and it's dirty and it's grimy. It's not, all I say is it needs to stay in the chat group. But we're going to go live. It's $4.99, and I'm giving you guys the gutter tea. This is the refined tea, the tea that graduated college. I'm bringing the tea that didn't even make it past 10th grade in high school. So you know
Okay.
it's going to be good, right?
All
You know
right.
it's going to be good. Now, let's get back. You guys sign up as members. $4.99, hit the join button, and the first one is going to be tomorrow. Make sure you're part of it. If you are a member and you can't join the chat, guess what? It don't matter because you'll have access to that video. It won't be public available, but you can hit that replay, ignore your boss, give the kids some Oreos, tell your husband you're sick of him. You know what I'm saying? Pop those headphones in and do your thing. Now, Lily, I want to get back to what you were saying because you had so much passion in your voice about you are truly, truly scared. Why are you so scared? What separates this just from? Now you mentioned. Let me just follow me on this. You mentioned that you feel like Porsha didn't have a lot of guidance. Now, some people could say, right? that Porsha is, for lack of a better word, she's naive. She's not innocent, but she's naive to certain
Mm-hmm.
things in this world, right? And that's why Simon likes her, because he can control her and he thinks she doesn't know anything. And to a point, how much of the world has she seen if she's telling him that if he's telling her that he's all this thing and not showing? Case in point, she's sitting there bragging that she's with some big guy in Nigeria. This is going to be some of the tea I'm going to spill tomorrow in the members only live chat. Sign up, is only $4.99, about what actually occurred in the African trip, where they went, the dignitaries, what happened and what didn't happen, and why. I got the tea on that. We're also going to talk about the dust stuff that happened on her filming of her reality show and what really happened, what the fight was about, who was fighting, and why half her family isn't messing with her right now. But it's like this. When they showed them going to Nigeria, a lot of you guys sent that to me, right? Thank God y'all be on it. They were holding the camera. She was holding the camera up to when she got into the car, right? To when she got into the car. And outside the car, there was a guy standing outside the car with an AK-47. Anyone that's ever been out of America
Whoa.
to yeah, but that's normal. That's not when we went to Honduras. Listen, when you really are with someone, and it's an old Nigerian joke, you know when you're messing with someone, because even when they send for you to come meet them for a night out at the club, they pick you up. You got police escorts, a police car in the front, a police car in the back, and they all are armored down and they are sitting there taking you through, right? So when you sit there with Porsha and you see about their trip, there were no police escorts. There were no armed guards. There was no anything. Why? Because Simon is not anybody that. Anyway, we'll get into that. I'm not going to spill this tea right now. We're going to wait a little bit and spill the tea in, right? No one likes Simon in Nigeria. And like I said, when you're a big deal in Nigeria, in Venezuela, in Guatemala, in Honduras, when you are a big deal, trust me, those police escorts are right there. I don't know how much they cost. I just know that they're there. And I know everybody is armored down, hanging off the back, holding their guns ready. This is just what happens, right? There's a lot of things. Simon didn't get that treatment. Porsha didn't get the treatment. How do we know? Because if they did, Porsha would have been bragging that shit all over. She would have felt like she was with Barack Obama and she was his Michelle. They went right over to whatever the Nigerian equivalent is of the Holiday Inn or the Howard Johnson, and she put on her little Chinese beauty supply turban that we all got and got her ass in the pool. Now, Lily, let me. I'm going to save this tea for the members only live tomorrow. Lily, why are you scared for her? Why do you think that she is playing with fire that she just doesn't know what it is? Why?
I'm scared for her because at first when I was looking at everything today, I was like, good for her because she took Phelan's husband. Then the motherly part of me said, this is something ain't right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm scared for this girl. That's the motherly part in me. But the reality is, I sat and I listened to Fallon talk about the things about him when you interview her. That's enough to scare anybody. Porsha doesn't listen. I don't get it, y'all. The
See,
things that Fallon said during the interview, it taught us a lot. And just us watching for ourselves, the mess he posts on social media. Porsha chose a man that's not the one for her. God did not put them together. She need to stop saying God blessed her with this man. That's ridiculous. He's not going to give you somebody's husband.
oh, wait, hold on, Lily, not to interrupt you. Lissay, come through, new member joining. We also have Lois Waller come through, and we also have Faith. Faith T, thank you so much for becoming a Tattle Tell. And Teresa Garzette, thank you so much for that super chat. Now, let me tell you on this, Lily, when you say that she doesn't listen, I do feel like it is some grown woman shit. And any woman that's been through shit, and if you haven't, you either lying or you're 16 years old. I'm not saying you got dragged through the gutter, but everybody, man or woman over a certain age, has been lied to, had their heart broken, and had game run on them. I've had game run on me. You know, I'll be the first to admit it. That's how I know so much about game. I mean, not this type of game, but I've had game run on me. It's nothing to be ashamed of. We are all human, right? My whole thing is, the older I got and when I matured and became a woman, that's when you realize that when somebody sits down and they start telling you how crazy their ex was. Now, granted, some exes actually might be like Simon, right? But when I mean this, the person they're telling you about does not seem to be narcissistic. It was just a regular breakup. And every single time they're disparaging them, right? the first thing you look at them is like, oh, she was crazy. She was out busting my windows in the middle of the night, right? Cut to you 3 months later, picking up a brick, looking a way to bust their windows. It's the whole point of not listening, but it's also a thing of maturity that when women say they have been hurt, used, or abused by a man, the odds are going to save them, and you are next. You are next. This is just something for everyone. This has nothing to do with Porsha, but listen to what other women be saying. Yeah, sometimes there is jealousy, but sometimes in life you got to chew the meat. You got to chew it, swallow the meat, and spit the fat out. Porsha's just chewing it and swallowing everything. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying. But Mel, NYC, weigh in on this. What do you think? Oh, also, hold on. Lonnie had a really good oh, here it is. Lonnie said, thank you for the super chat, Lonnie. You said the cast shakeup will force new dynamics between the women, perhaps new alliances and storylines. Hopefully, the newbies will be authentic, and I'm not intimidated by the status of the OGs. I agree.
Amen.
I agree, Mother.
Amen.
Let's say a prayer. Let's say a prayer. Now, Mel, what do you have to say about the way it looks like Porsha got into this new relationship and she's restructuring her life, but it seems to be going bound, right?
Yeah, you know what? For me, as I said, I'm trying to think of the most politically correct way to describe it, because she's a sister, she's a Black woman, and thing that I'm thinking about is that I can only think of, as I said earlier, Dizzy. That's the only thing I can think of. When I think of Porsha, I think about her history. I don't think of her being the most grounded housewife. I mean, she got into fights and she can read occasionally. But I think that for the most part, she was definitely very flighty, very just ungrounded. And I think that maybe for whatever reason, she's telling herself this is a good situation. Maybe financially is what she feels, whatever. But yeah, and I'm thinking about her mother too. I think her sister is very real, beautiful, and always been, grounding kind of lady. But I think Porsha, in contrast, is very, I don't know, she's a dreamer or something. Something is just not right. I'm just going to feel.
Well, here's the thing. That's a good point. I want to welcome Doctor to the Tisa Tattles fam. I want to thank you, Rim, and I want to recognize Unor. Thank you so much for joining the Tattle Tells. You guys, I am on two different screens. Sometimes I don't see them, but I welcome all of you, and we are having that members only live stream tomorrow. It's going to be good. Now, here's the thing. There is something, but I think that is literally one of the reasons why Porsha was so attractive to the Real Housewives. There was a vulnerability to her. You can tell that she'd been through stuff, right? You can tell that people had chewed her up and spit her out. All things can be true. Some people can be the villain, the protagonist, and the antagonist at the same time. I do believe that we are all Dunitra. You know that old saying, you are the villain in somebody's story. Somebody say you are the villain. However, I do want to point out that when it comes to that old cautionary tale about why, is it because you want the secure? I really don't understand why, because, when a woman's done, a woman leaves silently. And you can say what you want. Simon had all that money, right? Now, we'll talk about whether it was legit or not in the members only live chat. But Simon had all that money. But I will say that even though he had all that money, Fallon still left and didn't look back and is sitting there booed up and happy with who she can be, right? Now, listen, Mel, what do you think about NeNe and Kenya? Would you, and this goes for you, Lily, also. I like NeNe, I'll be honest with you, the last few seasons, NeNe's like that person, NeNe can do some things, and I'll look at this TV station and be like, you're not shit, NeNe Leakes. Oh, I can't stand you. Just horrified. Then the minute NeNe smiles and she turns on that charm, I'm right back to cackling with her. She has that Sagittarius energy, right? She has that Sagittarius energy. I have a big softness for Saggy women, right? And she has that Sagittarius energy. Now, I will say, though, what do you think in the storyline? Would you like to see her and Kenya get along and unite against
Absolutely.
Yes.
Listen, see, this is the thing for me. I'm Team NeNe. I've always loved NeNe. This is what I think. Who else in the history? I'm going to go there. Who else in the history of Atlanta was a comedic reader? I mean, everybody could be a nasty reader, but she was comedy. That's why what's his name? Ryan Murphy hired her so many times.
Yes.
She's a comedian. She was
effortlessly.
Yeah.
Mhm.
She's a comedian. Yeah, I was
No,
gonna say
sorry
she's
to interrupt. I'm gonna
yeah.
keep interrupting y'all. Just keep
It's
talking.
okay.
But
It's okay. It's okay.
I want to welcome Terry Troop, and I also want to welcome Island Vision Aries. Come through, fire sign energy. So go
Awesome.
on. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
but
I keep
no,
over talking you.
I
Just
think
welcome
that
to the pet house.
no. I just think that she was a comedian. Now, this is the thing. Her last couple of years that she was there, and she just lost her husband. She was going through. I'm a caregiver. Won't go. I was a caregiver. I won't go through that. But I just know that when you are in the midst of trying to save somebody you love, you transform. You go to the dark part. You become a mean person. You become this kind of person. People have said before, oh well, she was also insecure and mean before her husband got sick. I said at the time, excuse my French, basically the woman would get on her damn nerves. So she was, she reminded me of my sisters and my aunts in that regard. So
Hmm.
she wasn't off putting to me. She reminded me of family. So you
Yes.
but family can be wrong. Don't get it twisted. I definitely will let my family know in a minute when they're wrong or not.
Mm.
But she was a comedy. She was comedy. She was on that show. As I love Kenya, at least used to. For me, sometime with Kenya, it's beautiful as she is. She in my opinion, she tries too hard to be the shocker or to be the pot star. Kenya, you're beautiful. You actually have a black legacy of Hollywood. So you sit
Hmm.
there.
Mm-hmm.
If the people come for your age or whatever, you show them that resume. You show them your business. You show them your beautiful baby. You get them together. Don't go searching for people's business. Don't go looking to being nosy. You know what I would? So Tisa, this is what I want
Mm.
this year for Kenya. I want her to find a fine, beautiful, drop dead gorgeous man who treat her well. And I want her to fall into that relationship. I want her to be in that relationship. I want her to be vulnerable. And I want the
Mhm.
girls to even try to talk about her and then she can read them about that. I want to see her focus
Exactly.
on her life and not nobody
Hmm.
else's. Focus on her hurts, maybe reconnect with her mother if she wants to. But you know what? I want her to get her. I want her to get her. How Stella got her groove back. I want her to have that moment. Really get into your womanness. Really get into your sensuality. Really rediscover yourself. Get into that. That would be fascinating to watch. But
Yes.
don't be the person who's always going at other people's lives. Now, mind you, the way the show works, there's always going to be that woman gonna be like, "Damn, I can't stand her," and we'll try to comfort her. Then you battle. But trust me, Kenya, if you listen to
Battle.
this, yeah, if you listen to Kenya, wait. I know you like to battle. Just wait a couple episodes. You will have opportunity. In the meantime, don't go searching for it. Just sit back and let them come to you. And
Yeah.
Nene, I think when Nene, so when she was on Wendy Williams said, "Oh, I hear this new girl coming to town," and this was years ago. And Nene's like, "Well, who is she?" She was insecure or whatever. And I think for Nene, I'm hoping because she's grieving and whatever. Nene, drop down your insecurities. You're a queen. You're comedy gold. Sit there on your throne, honey, and read the people from the confessional like Karen do on Potomac. Don't get in the
Mhm.
mud. If people come up, you buck up. You get this way. That's it. The other young girls will do the other stuff, but you play the Karen role. And Kenya, you do get your groove back. Get in dating. Get into your sensuality. You queens will still be the top. The girls won't be able to take you down. Let the other
I
girls,
completely agree.
so that's my
Now,
thing.
so just to interrupt, right? I want to welcome IMC Brown. I also want to welcome Alicia T. I want to thank B for being the best damn moderator in the world. And I also want to thank Miss Sandra ATL for the super chat. Now, Sandra has an interesting thing, right? Let's go into Sandra's message, right? Let me put that on the screen. What did Culinaire say? I'll come back to your message. Let me get Sandra's message. And oh, here we go. Miss Sandra ATL, thank you for the super chat. But also, you said Porsche has daddy issues. Simon has taken advantage of that. It showed that with the ring hug. It looked like a little girl being hugged by her daddy.
Yes.
True, it did, but I still thought that was all fake. I feel like it's a little girl. So here's this dynamic, right? That we see a lot of times with children that were abandoned by their father, right? For the men, sometimes they blame the mom because they say, if you ain't fuss enough, or if you didn't do this or you did that, maybe he would be here. But the gag on that is you were too young to process the trauma. And whatever your mom said or did to him, he still chose to walk out of the household and leave you. Do you see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But you're not old enough to process that trauma. So you blame the parent that's left. Maybe if you had not checked his phone, he'd still be here. You haven't really processed the trauma. With girls, sometimes when they don't process the trauma, because this isn't anything against um what's her name, Kenya or Portia. this is just universal. It's like
Yeah.
humans, we are animals. You put an animal in the cage, the animal's going to try to escape, right? So with the little girl that doesn't when the little girl and the dad leaves, right? She sees the mom, and she sees the mom fussing at the dad and doing this and doing that and and she sees the mom, and she says, "Okay, and the dad makes an excuse that the reason he's not around is because the mom did this and the mom did that." So she thinks, you know what the problem was? Mommy didn't love daddy hard enough. And mommy had loved daddy and made him feel like a man and pushed him up and did this and that. Then you know what? Daddy would have stayed, because that's all daddy needed. He needed a woman's love. He needed somebody that protected him and listened to him. They're too young to know. Girl, he was just saying that because he was 3 doors down at Miss Darlene's house. You see what I'm saying? They don't realize that it was a grown ass situation, but as little children, that's what they see. So what happens when they get a man? Now they have an opportunity to pour the love into their dads that they wish their moms had poured. That's when they start babying men. That's when they start throwing themselves in front of men. That's when they say, no, if I just build this man up and love him and love him and love him. And in a way, they're trying to pour all the love they wish they could have given their dad into this man. Unfortunately, when it happens, people often pick the one person who is the embodiment of their actual father. And when they get older, they make that nexus between your dad wasn't shit, right? Your dad wasn't shit. And that's why he left. And that's when they realize with a man, they try to pour all that love in. The man isn't shit. And it doesn't matter how much you pour love in, it's all excuses. I think that's what Porsha's doing. I think that whole photo op in Vegas was fake, but I think that she gets off on now helping this man and building this man out. Because if you see the way he did, a lot of her self-worth is how she hustles, how she's a gold digger, how a gold getter. Nothing wrong with hustling. Nothing wrong with being a gold digger. Nothing wrong with being a gold digger, floating and slip, right? But nothing wrong with hustling. Nothing wrong with being a goal-oriented woman. But at the end of the day, if you're with this man that's supposed to have so much and have all these you're supposed to have all this much and have all these connections. Goddamn, goddamn, goddamn. Where is, like, it's just not clicking. So I think there is a father-daughter relationship, and I think it's more like Ashley Darby's father-daughter relationship. Do you see what I'm saying with Michael Darby? That's what I think. And I also want to take a moment and just welcome a few more Tattle Tell members. Neil Nell, what is going on? And A. Lorraine, thank you so much for the super chat. And did I miss any other members? I probably did. Let me do my best to catch them. Just want to catch everyone. I know B's doing a good job of welcoming all the members, but I'm trying to see what I can also do. Alicia T and Nellie Nell, welcome. I think I welcomed you. Rim, thank you so much again. And A. Lorraine, okay, I think I'm caught up on all my members. And B is in the crowd catching who I can. Definitely Nellie Nell. Oh, we have somebody else that wants to say their stuff. I think I said hi to Alicia T. Thank you, Miss Alicia T. Let's bring somebody into the chat to actually see what's going on. Now, I will say, right? Let's see. Here we go. Boom. QK, what's going on?
Bonjour.
Okay, QK, what's your take on all this? And we're about to go into also NeNe and Kenya, what their seasons are going to look like, and we'll talk about Drew. We're getting into all the casting news, but right now, of course, we're talking about Porsha because it says a lot that one of the titans of a show was let go to make room for the OG coming back. But QK, let me know your feelings on this.
Well, it was the wrong Titan, wasn't it? The lady who can't sell ice cubes anymore for a price should have went.
Okay.
I mean, let's be honest. What has Candy brought in the last 5 seasons?
Wait, are we talking about Candy?
We talking about Candy?
No, I don't. Listen, I disagree about Candy.
No.
I disagree.
Candy has bought a lot. And also what she did behind the scenes. See, here's the thing. I feel like with Housewives, we want to see a bunch of Mias. And this is no shade to me. I'm going to do a video about this meltdown she's having on social media. But we all want a bunch of Mias. We want people popping off. But in order for an ensemble cast, there needs to be breadth in between. There needs to be a straight man. Candy is the most successful. She's always doing really cool things. I blame the production for not showcasing it more, because Candy is even that Broadway play she's doing. Candy does incredible things. She's always doing really cool things. Candy legitimately has money, and to me, she's a dream. You made your own money,
But
right?
this is the point. It's not being shown on camera. Every
Okay.
season, it's not being shown. We want a bit of drama. We
Yes.
want a bit of the back and forth. And all we've been seeing is, unfortunately, Nene looking stupid on the last one she was on in front of Kenya, and it was stupid. And then it's the Porsha and Kenya back and forth all the time. She's just picked up where Nene finished off. And it's the same old stuff. We need fresh people. I honestly think, and I'm not just saying it because Fallon was in the chat, we need people like Fallon to replace these people who are more level headed, a younger version, and then bring the OGs back in, slip them back in. Like I was saying to you last night, give them some time off, give them some time to refresh, get a story going, give them a couple of years, and keep filtering them in. The OGs can always be still there, but start bringing in the fresh talent. There are loads of women what could have this opportunity, what are rich from Atlanta and can get it coming up instead of relying on the same cast constantly. It's dying. It really is. Rhoa used to be the best thing ever, and now it's dying on its feet, and no one's got a story.
True. And you know the weird thing is, QK, I agree with you. And I want you, Mel and Lily, also to weigh in. QK brings up a good point. You guys have all touched on it. There is so much going on in each housewife's lives. So much.
Mhm.
And every season, everybody has like some dumb story. They'll literally, there's so much to do. It's like, why can't you guys just tell
Production
a
fault.
story?
Yeah, but I was going to say, Lily, so I'm going to ask this straight to Tisa because she's our investigator right here. So, Tisa, this is what I'm going to ask you. Have you heard that the ladies sort of censor the production from displaying certain things? Because it
Porsha
seems
did
like
it.
you
Here's
think.
the thing. So here's the thing from what I know about my sources, right? And also Colony Alaire said, LOL, Simon is about to have to put $4.99 of the $50K he owes you in your pocket. He knows he wants to hear the members only live.
Oh,
Mhm.
he gonna do it under fake name. He's definitely gonna
Tessa,
be there, Tisha.
He'll be there.
He'll be
Tessa,
there
if
Colony,
you
you
got to
are
get your
so
in
Scooby
a
funny.
bag,
fake name, a female's name.
Uh-oh.
if you're going to get his
Colony,
Scooby bag when he's dead, he's going to
listen,
be in
it's
that
a
chat
Gucci
listening.
backpack, right? So
Yeah,
on
he's
there
in his
said,
casket listening to Tisha Tales. Tisa Tales.
he wants to hear the members only live. He probably would be doing that,
Oh,
right?
he's gonna be there in a female's name. Watch.
Oh my God.
There is so funny, girl. You are funny. Okay, you got that one. You got that one. So listen, do I think here's what I've heard, right? The producers, the only real favorite is Porsha. Now, don't get me wrong. There's Candy, but Candy's lets the producers get a little dirty sometimes. You saw that with Mama Joyce and Todd. You saw that with Carmen and Mama Joyce. You saw that with the OLG. Candy lets them film. Now, granted, she doesn't let them run wild. You saw that when she put what was going on with her baby and the baby's father going on,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So she's been vulnerable. She's opened up. Now, of course, Candy's strategic the way she opens up, but nobody said you got to put a fan cam in your bedroom. I don't need the hard, but enough for me to feel like, oh, okay, this is good. Let's go, right? Candy's fine with that. So in that case, the producers leave Candy alone, not because Candy's their favorite, but because Candy understands the assignment.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with Kenya. The only thing Kenya ever misstepped was with the Mark thing, right? But
Mm-hmm.
oddly enough, isn't it funny? And I don't want to talk about Kenya's marriage because I have my own opinions about Mark. But it's odd that as much shit as Porsha talked about Mark and Kenya being Kenya Moore, right, decided she was going down with Mark. And then she said, me and Brooklyn, no, we're going to live. And she literally pressed eject on the parachute and her and Brooklyn went up. And Mark is like, I don't know, doing whatever he's doing, right? Porsha attached herself to a Mark named Simon.
Mm-hmm.
And Simon is she's already hit the ground. And now he is literally pushing her down into the earth's core. So it's odd that as much as Porsha projects, maybe that's why she had so much disdain for everybody else, because she sees bits of herself in everybody else. And I don't know. I honestly don't know. What do y'all think of that? But that's what I think Porsha is the producer's darling, but outside of Porsha, you know they drag Kenya through the mud. But the producers pick the storyline. Kenya has no say. Candy, she works hand in hand with the producers, but Candy's like more open. Porsha has the producers wrapped around her finger, and we see what that happens, right? We see
No,
what happened.
yeah.
Let's
For,
welcome Judgy Justice to the chat. Judgy Justice, what would you like to say?
Hey, I just wanted to say that I love your platform. I think it's a great thing, great place to be. No judgment zone, and also I love my boy QK, so I had to just give him a nice shout out.
Hi.
He's the shadiest one across the pond.
He is. Let me just before you start, Judgy Justice, I want to just say thank you to Dr. DR for joining Unar. I went through that. I just want to thank everybody that's joined the Tattle Tells. Just to let you guys know, I am doing a members only live. I am calling her Alaire. Thank you for joining me. I am doing a members only live. You guys, with the members only live, it is going to be even less stress. It's going to be a private group. You guys can come on video, audio. We're going to talk. I'm going to spill the gutter tea that is not safe for YouTube, but also the tea that it's kind of verified, but not really. It's still cooking in the oven. All I ask is that you guys do not spread it with anyone else. And if you are going to miss the chat, it's okay because I'll leave the videos up for members only to review, to listen. We can comment. It'll even be a members only comment section. And I am, if you guys know, always in my comment section, always going. And you guys can actually ask me questions about what I know, how I know it, and I can respond off the record. It's only $4.99 a month. Just hit join on the channel. You can cancel at only time. You have nothing to lose, only something to gain. It's going to be 2 or 3 times a month. And my first members only gossip live is going to be tomorrow. So you guys sign up so you don't miss it. And you can always watch the replay. All right. In New York, 1206, welcome, welcome. And let's say, okay, so here we go. Judgy Justice, hit us with this knowledge.
I just wanted to give you a nice shout out, and I was so excited because I never get a chance to catch you live. I'm always watching repeats.
Oh, well, here's the thing. Let me ask you a question then, right? I'll prep you up. What's your thoughts on Fallon returning, NeNe? I even knew from Fallon, if you caught some of the interviews I did with her, she's actually a big fan of NeNe. She literally grew up watching NeNe. Not that Fallon's so much younger than NeNe, but you get my point. When she got into Real Housewives, she was a huge NeNe fan. She remembers a NeNe fan from how much admiration she has for the woman. I'm sure she'll play. What do you think about Fallon coming back? What do you think about NeNe coming back? And would you like to see NeNe and Kenya be a little bit more friendly, or at least a truce?
I think NeNe and Kenya will both be able to find a common place because now they're a little bit older now. They both had gone through some things at this point because at the same point before, NeNe, she still had Greg and she was, cashing Trump checks at the time. All of that was going on. And Kenya, she was, still trying to find the person that she loved. So, yes. And even though she's still on that journey, but at least, but also I think that would be a great dynamic if they could just get along, even for just a couple episodes would be great, before they, because then again, we still want them to have the little tit for tat, but a nice sit down dinner, let it all out would be really helpful. I do think that Fallon, I don't really think Fallon should come back. Because without the Porsha thing, it's just not. It just doesn't help develop her story a lot quicker for us. Because I feel like for people that,
I disagree.
Go on. For people that what?
I think for people that are diehard Porsha fans, I think they need to be able to actually see them both in the same arena at the same time. And then be able to kind of come up with their own judgment. Because right now we've only seen this play out on YouTube and Instagram. And it'd be good to see them actually or even not really, I know that Porsha doesn't really have too much she could say to Fallon about the situation because honestly, she wasn't supposed to be there.
Mm-hmm. So. But here's the thing. With Fallon being around Porsha, one, I wouldn't trust Porsha around a pregnant woman. I'm sorry. When Porsha gets mad, she's proven more than enough times, right, that she blacks out. right? And I could see Porsha being led away in handcuffs, blacking out, forgetting that Fallon was pregnant, right? So I wouldn't do that. Two, Fallon is with child, right? I know there's been a lot of people dragging her through the YouTube streets because she didn't let people know her monthly cycle and when her period ended in the exact moment, she conceived, right? But at the end of the day, we forget we are talking about a pregnant woman. If Porsha was pregnant right now, I would still drag Simon, but I would definitely keep Porsha. No, actually, maybe I would even leave Simon alone because I don't want a pregnant woman to have that energy of any stress that I cause, right? Now, here's the thing, right? Here's the thing I will say, and this is the important thing we need to actually notice. I do also think that Porsha and Fallon has never made it a secret that she has no beef with Porsha. Granted, is that ever going to be a best friend? No, but she's like, K Sarah, Sarah. Her issue was with the husband that betrayed the vows. I'm interesting, right? Fallon, I don't even think will talk about Porsha, but I want to see Fallon drop the shade on what was going on. Fallon knows where all the bodies are hidden. Fallon dropped a little bit TMI, but she was married to, she knew that man for what, 5 years, was married to him for 2 years. You know how much a fraud Simcoe is. You know this, you know that. And also, I'll be honest with you, even from Fallon and her limited appearances, Fallon, I think, is good TV. Beautiful girl,
Yes.
beautiful body, beautiful personality. And now that Cynthia's gone, I think Fallon can bring that level headed neutral because Fallon strikes me as the type of person you can sit in the room with anybody. You can sit in the room with anyone, whether you like it or not, and you can keep the scene rolling. And we need that neutrality where, kind of like the way Ascala is on Real Housewives of Potomac. So I see your point, and you make great issues, but I do think, and Lily, what do you think? What do you think of this?
I think Fallon is great for television. She will bring something, like I said, like a family setting. She
Yes.
has her beautiful children. She's
Nice
about to have
young family.
a beautiful baby girl. She has
Yep.
someone that loves her, and she's
Hmm.
entertaining. She was not able to give us that last season when she was on there because Simon suppressed her.
Yes.
I
Simon
So,
was impressed
suppressed
when
her,
she was
and
and
he
running
had
what,
her
around.
pregnant.
JJ, you need to go watch Fallon's videos on her channel. She is
Mhm.
amazing. She's hilarious, and she does the t-shirt tail dance. Put it on, make you want to marry me. So you got to go watch her channel. She's entertaining. Her ex-husband did not give her the opportunity to present what she has now.
Yes.
We need that on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Atlanta needs it. I live here. We need it. We need her.
Exactly.
She's an original peach from Atlanta. She is needed. Her lifestyle is needed.
Exactly. And I want to welcome Jacqueline Killingsworth to the Tees Apparel fam. And there's some Blackberry 528. I want to welcome you to the fam. DC Taylor, welcome, welcome, welcome. Well, DC, I know you, but still welcome, girl. But no, I agree with you. I agree with you. Who else am I? Oh, and Rashida Gonzalez. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And also, Dr. J1913, you said you can't wait to see and buy some of her art. Exactly. I can't wait to see and buy some of Fallon's art too. Actually, I would, because as much as I spend on stupid art, right? With like artists at like whatever, it's like, why not? Yes, let's buy some of Fallon's art. Fallon is actually a really, 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 really talented artist. I don't, sometimes somebody draws something, it looks like a 3-year-old made it, and you're like, oh, that's nice. Like, oh, I don't know. Oh, do you want to see more? No, 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 no. Let's save it. Fallon actually has really, really good art where I'm like, oh shit. I thought it was gonna have to be fake for a second. No, this is actually really, really nice art. So I
Well,
do
wait,
think the Fallon would be good, and I think she'll be the Cynthia energy that we need. And it's a nice youthful energy, but in the way that Real Housewives of Atlanta can take youthful energy. I don't think like we want to see Real Housewives of Atlanta having twerking to see who get keys to the room. I
I
mean, that
don't
was
want no more twerking.
listen.
I'm over the twerking. I think the
I'm over
twerking
it.
Yeah,
needs to die.
I'm
Twerking
over
needs
the
to end
thought
with
field.
2021.
yeah, and but you know what? Didn't it seem like also it was being made a mockery of
Yes.
Black womanhood? Because here's the thing, right? I spend a lot of times overseas. I think sometimes we discount how much as a community we see stuff and we think that other people understand what's going on. When you maybe live in a town that only got maybe two Black people, I don't live in this town, but I'm just saying there's been a lot of towns I've seen that maybe only got two Black people, right? It's very homogenous over in EU. It's very homogenous, but even if you're in Africa, right? We are cultural ambassadors. If these people who are supposed to be a representation of the elite of our society, right? And I'm not doing respectability politics, just follow me on this, are literally twerking, they literally think like, oh, that's what Black women do. They, whenever something's going on,
Bad
granted,
representation.
yeah, but here's the thing. I'm not playing respectability politics. My thing is, yes, that is a faction of Black womanhood, right? We twerking is all over the world. Everybody loves it. I'm not hating on that. I'm just hating on the fact that the producers seem to think that's the only thing that's going on in our thing. Why was it that a bachelor party with a stripper and sleeping? Yeah, Porsha should have been embarrassed. But why, out of all the shit going on with Black Lives Matter and this and that and blah, 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 and our country being awakened, and not even that, even the individual things that were happening in everybody's life, why we focus on that? Do you see what I'm saying? I feel like it's a bad representation. Yes, we twerk. I can't twerk, right? But I will hype up a twerker in a minute. It's my culture. But here's the thing, twerking is a beautiful art. It's our culture. When you see those hips sway and the back go into action, you're like, God damn, like Black culture is so beautiful. I love my culture. I'm not ashamed of it. However, there's more to my culture than that. And I'd like to see something more than that represented. You know what I'm saying? That's it.
Tessa, this is the thing what I say. You know, when you mentioned about Porsche sleeping with Bolo, I don't see that as a major thing. She can do what she wants. She's free, she's single. But what I found what was irritating, that was the only story Kenya had, and she kept on pushing it and pushing it. And that's what made it embarrassing for last season, because she wouldn't let it go. And
But
that
Kenya was doing her job.
But here's the thing, QK. To Lily's point, Kenny was doing her job. But if you look at the way she kept pushing it and pushing it and pushing it, you don't think it's odd that the producers kept showing it? Because if you actually look at that
this
footage,
is the next bit what I was going to say.
Yeah.
And production is loving every minute of it, and it's
But
hyping Kenya up even more.
I think that's another thing. It's like not having representation in the back part to actually give us genuine, authentic African American stories.
Mhm.
Because for if you think, because honestly, what they think is Black culture, they're just looking up on YouTube, just seeing
Yeah.
this is it. We have twerking. Oh yeah, we
Exactly.
have dancing. We have throwing salads at people. And I'm seeing a trend between the RHOA and the RHOP because they're
Yeah.
the same. They're done by the same people, and favoritism not only for the. I don't want to feed too much. I don't want us to go into the colorism issue at RHOP, but there is one,
Okay.
and there
I can agree with
and I think
that.
I think that we're also now seeing it now play out because when Kenya didn't want to have their wedding videotaped and they treated her so badly that following 2 seasons, that was another thing. Even though that's a genuine moment that someone could keep private, they should be able to. They should have that right.
No, I agree with you. Portia's Crayola contract. We see you in the chat. What's up, Mama? You want to weigh in on this?
I'm still laughing at Fallon dressed up as
Keisha,
Medusa.
I'm gonna drop out, baby.
Oh, okay, Lily. Thank you so
Love
much for
you.
joining us. We loved you, Lily. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Queen.
Wait, are you still on your vacation?
No, I'm back home. I was doing laundry while watching and listening to you.
Okay. All right, Lily. Have fun,
Love
girl.
you.
Go
Bye.
All
ahead.
right.
Okay, so go on. I'm sorry.
Like I was saying, I'm still laughing at when I seen Fallon dressed up as Medusa chasing who around the house and going crazy. I was like, this is what I want to see. A bit of this, but a bit of calm. And then a little bit of roasting at the end. I was like, God, I was just like, get her, Fallon, get her.
Funny how you mentioned that, because I was looking at the scene, and how did Portia know that Fallon was running to the garage? How does she know what's where in Fallon's house?
How did she know? Melver, you remember this? How did she know when?
Oh, what was in the fridge?
Yes, that's what I said. When Bella was like, "How'd you know I had Diet Cherry Lemon 7-Up?" It was just something so specific, and Portia was just way too comfortable in that house.
That's right.
Way too comfortable.
She was too familiar with the ground. She was, maybe she probably already knew the house.
She didn't even have to be shown where the bathroom was. She knew which one.
Right?
She knew it was left, right, down the
Oh
hall.
my God.
She did.
She's been there before.
Did. Now, listen, let's talk about this, right? Candy's storyline, we're assuming is this play that's on Broadway. That's fantastic, right? That's Candy's storyline. What about, right? What about Kenya's storyline? It's not going to be Dancing with the Stars. Unfortunately, it
Mm.
looks like they're going to focus on her divorce with Mark. Again, I don't know. I didn't like sad Kenya from
No,
last season. I didn't like
agreed.
sad Kenya at all. And it broke my heart. And I know Kenya has emotions. I'm not saying she has to put on a face, but it's like with the producers, why? Like Mel said, I want to see Kenya win. I want to see her win. I want to see her have her happy ending. I want to see her with a man that loves her, or if not, I want to see her happy and dating. You know what I'm saying? Nene, I would really love to see Nene's um, trajectory, which is going to have to be hard because I know the death of Greg is still harsh. Of course, it's really right on her mind. It should be right. It's an
You
unbelievable
know,
loss.
I was gonna say that some people would say, "Oh, well, Nene's still grieving," but we can't forget that Vicky actually on the OC actually lost her mother right on the camera. So sometimes these housewives actually can't. Either they lose their family right when they filming, or they lose them right before they film, as Meredith did on I think on Salt Lake, or So I don't think that if you have a tragedy in your family, we've seen historically that the housewives have shown up. Even LVP, even though that was not the best season for her,
That was
but
shocking, LVP, a brother and a mother within months of
yeah,
each other.
Yeah.
yeah. So I think that I don't think it's too soon for Needy to come back. I think that just like every other housewife who's been in that situation, she'll maybe we'll see her go in therapy. We'll see her try to reconnect in friendships with the girls. I mean, she on the show. And Kenya, I heard in the chat that people said she doesn't need a man. I agree with that. I just think that I want to see her more self-obsessed with her life and not really engage with other people's secrets and things, because I feel like it's more a producer too. Say, Kenya, go over there and start being nosy. I don't want her to play
Mhm.
Yeah,
that role. I want to have more respect for herself.
Right.
Say, listen, I'm interested. I'm interesting enough. My life is interesting enough without me going provoking or being the pot stirrer. I don't want to play that this year. I want to
Mhm.
show who I am. I want to show how I'm being a single mother. I want to show if I do want to date, and if I do date, and what business I'm doing, and all those things. And let the girls, as I said, start, say I can't stand her for no reason, and then she would have to combat that. That is more compelling than her always on attack.
You
I
know
think.
what? I Go on. I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry. It's your show. I'm
No,
just here.
jump in here. Jump
I'm
in
one of
It's
your
here.
our
tattle
show.
tells.
Our show.
Listen,
Family.
I told her in the
So
chat. I told
I
her in the chat. No, I was gonna say I told her in the chat that we have no time clocks on this panel.
No, we don't. Listen, y'all family, you know your way around the
I
refrigerator, go and
know.
get a
I'm
drink,
like
and then
so
come sit
excited.
down and tell me what you think.
Yeah, because you know who would be pulling out that clock and saying 2 minutes, killing
Who?
me with
oh
that.
God, that's why I left. I had
Well, you know what?
enough.
We're not going to mention the name. We won't mention the name, but yeah,
Okay,
we're
Yeah,
well,
but
going
I
to
don't
do.
know who
I
y'all
can
talking
give me the
about.
clout. But
Well, okay.
but basically, like for me, I'm okay with seeing Nene being going through her grieving stations as like as she comes back on the show. I just don't want to see Kenya go through it. I really, really don't. And I really think that's again another, producer bravo against her, doing something, because I feel that, why not showcase this beautiful stuff at Dancing with the Stars and bring some of those viewers over here? They still get millions of viewers every time. And they're in like season 2,430 over there or something.
Yeah.
So
No,
why not
definitely.
showcase that
So
and make
listen,
Do
that's an
you think
important
that's
comment.
why she wanted to conceal the case so they won't dig up too much into it and try to make it her story?
No, I think honestly they did it. Well, actually that could have been why she did it, but I also think why she might have did it was the fact that uh she didn't want the blogs talking about it. She did not want the blogs talking about it. Now here's the thing. We have ACE and KJ. I'm gonna let you guys talk in a second. But I also think with this, the producers are being short-sighted because here's the thing. For years you had Kenya as the villain, right? But the thing is, there's a whole trove of people that hate Kenya and they love to see her lose. But Kenya has some real fans. I'm a big fan too. So it was always that thing. Isn't it a great way to revive a show to flip it? Now the Kenya fans are mad because she's winning and they're hate watching. And I'm sorry, the Kenya haters are hate watching because they're just like, why does Kenya keep winning? Because they're going to watch. But also, you're giving her fans something to finally delight in. So it's a way to take that same base and revive it by just switching it up. Just switching it up. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't know why they wouldn't. But ACE and KJ, why don't you say, okay, let's see. ACE's having audio issues. KJ, what do you have to say? You want to weigh in on this? KJ? I don't know. KJ, we can't hear you. ACE, hello?
Is it on mute?
Somebody's on mute. Maybe ACE's on mute. KJ,
I can
are
talk
you?
again. I like the sound of my voice.
Go on, keep talking, girl. I like the sound of your voice.
Go ahead, girl.
Sounds like silk.
Go
Silk.
ahead.
Go on.
So where does this leave us with the cast though? Are they still, is Akon's like,
Yes.
I don't want to say, is she still gonna be a part of it?
Yes. So
And
This
Akon,
is what I wanted to ask.
What, Akon's fifth
How old are
wife
her
twice
children?
removed? Please.
yeah. So listen, here's the thing. Akon's life partner, because he practices polygamy. Kids seem to be healthy and well taken care of. They practice polygamy, which will be interesting to play out. So in polygamy in America, I think only your first marriage is recognized, right? But so anyway, her kids look like they're between the ages of 9 and 12, somewhere in there. They're both, preteens, definitely preteens, either that or they're tall boys. She is his life partner. She is one of his wives, but this seems to be one that he's very, very friendly with because he's all up and down her timeline. Akon has many wives, but some of the wives are much older because Akon's much older, She's one of the younger wives. She is a friend of Sheree. She was bought over. She was the one that invited Porsha. I'm sorry.
Simon.
Sorry, no, she didn't invite Simon, right? She invited who is it? Sheree over to Uganda to see the president's inauguration for Uganda, which was questionable because there's a lot going on in Uganda right now. But Simon got an invite. But don't forget that he's he's a clout chaser, right? And of course, he was saying his business because there was something with Roz where she commented, Simon made that crazy post about Fallon. And Roz jumped in and be like, I know what this man's gone through. To which I said, girl, how do you never even met Fallon? What the fact that you don't even think it's suspicious that you don't even know this man from a can of paint and he's telling you about what a bad person his ex-wife was, right? To me, I'd be like, why are you telling me this, right? But she's a friend of Sheree. We don't know if she's going to make Housewives because, it's green screens, it's gelling with the cast, it's having your moment. They find out who's a permanent housewife toward the end of the season. Or if you have a really big success, when the season is edited, they're like, no, we know you're going to be good. You can stay. So that's who she is. She's coming on as a friend of Sheree. She might be upgraded, but it does make me wonder about her, right? It does make me wonder about her that you never met this woman, and because this man you don't even know is crying in your ear saying she did this and that, to the point of you're jumping on posts. But then again, I don't know, I don't practice polygamy, but I guess you have to have that level of understanding to even accept sharing your man. Now I do want to see the dynamic between her and Fallon on that, because I'm sure Fallon is ready
Has some
to
things to
do
say.
her attack. Yeah, because Porsha has never commented on Fallon directly. Do you know what I'm saying? So Fallon's is like, whatever. This girl actually did. So would y'all like to see that dynamic?
I would like to see it, but I was wondering more so about like having more of the, because you guys got me thinking about the kids and stuff. That all these people have kids now, and it'd be really good to actually have like kid play dates.
That would be
like
nice.
If they're all around the same thing, that would be actually a nice way to like segue into some of this stuff with them getting to know each other. Because I know there's like millions and millions of people in like Atlanta, but it would be really good to see how they all, get to know each other a little bit differently than just, producers shoving down bottles down their throat about drink.
No, I agree with you.
I'm just thinking about Fallon's safety being pregnant. Well, I guess she has Jalen there to protect her. And
exactly.
All that. But just to be in this types of situations where it may end up being something more and arguments, I want to see her on there, but it's like
again, we don't know if this girl Roz, what her temperament is. What she might actually get in front of Fallon and they have a woman heart to heart, and she's like, "Yeah, girl, I'm sorry," right? Because that's the thing you have to realize in life. I will eat crow if I need to, right? I try to be exact because who likes having to say I was wrong? But if I need to, I'd be like, all right, you know what? I was wrong. I'm sorry. Let's just move forward. And I think Fallon will be mature enough to actually accept that. I do know from what I've seen from Fallon just getting her energy that if the girl wanted to send heat, Fallon be ready to bring the heat too. You know what I'm saying? So on that aspect, I think that they would be equally suited. I think it would be a good thing. But to the point, she is Sheree's friend. It could be, look, well, not even could be, based off her comments, she is a Simon sympathizer. But here's the thing, if she's friends with Sheree, and Sheree always goes, right? Always goes where she thinks the money resides. That means that Sheree would have been a Porsche sympathizer too, which leads you to believe that Porsche was actually let go, because it's not like Porsha was going to be on there alone. Sheree was going to have her back because of Simon. And also that girl Roz would have been Portia's African sister to be like, oh no, we love Porsha. And it would have solidified Portia's storyline. I'm telling y'all, did she jump off the cliff or was she pushed? I think she was pushed off the cliff, or I think they kept moving closer and she decided to jump. But I don't know how you walk into contract negotiations and leave with no job. I really don't understand, because why did they take the original offer off the table? It just doesn't make any sense, right? But again, as far as Fallon's safety, Fallon can handle herself.
I
Jalen
also
is not letting anyone touch a head on or even get close enough to Fallon's energy to even, Jalen's super, super protective. So Fallon's fine. But go on. Sorry, girl. What were you saying?
I would, for me, honestly, I think for them also, they're going to tread lightly with reviving the show and arguing with a pregnant woman, because that's just not a good look. Arguing with a pregnant woman, walking
Mm-hmm.
violently towards a pregnant woman, that's not going to be a great look for Sheree. That's not going to be a great look for us trying to get to know Akon's, wife number 17. It's not going to be a great look for any of this. And it's not going to be a better look for the network to have these scenes where these people are antagonizing a pregnant woman while she's sensibly defenseless. You
You know
know,
what? That's true. And also, how's the network going to spin somebody's third, fourth, or fifth wife? How are they going to spin that? But again, Salt Lake City Mormons believe in, well, they say they cleaned up the religion, but the big ones still believe in polygamy. So they did it with the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Let me ask you guys a question. For Sheree, T. Cohen made a funny thing about please. His storyline is going to be like, you need to call Tyrone, right? What's Sheree's storyline? Now that Porsha ain't coming back, what is
I'm,
Sheree's
I'm still
storyline?
I'm still waiting for She Charade to happen. I've been waiting a decade. And I'm working on
Joggers.
a basement done.
she would have made some money if she came out with them during COVID. She would have made all the
She
coins because everybody was
listen.
wearing them.
That's
She could
right.
have even did a She by Sheree times Fabletics, right? And got into that coin. Sheree dropped the bag on that one. I know she's kicking herself because that would have been something up her alley. But two QKs, right? Wait, KJ says they think that they need Phaedra. KJ, you think that they need Phaedra? I
They
don't think Candy's
do.
going for that.
I want to see
Why?
Phaedra in the mix because she was good
I
at reading.
Yeah, I just think
And
that
she
for
was.
me, I think that what we need is a comedian, maybe even a real comedian housewife, because I need somebody to sit back and observe and have funny confessionals and read in a funny way. If it's not needing somebody like that, because even with one thing that was good about OC was Vicky was kooky and she was crazy, and she was a comedic relief when she wasn't very angry, and
Mm-hmm.
Nene was very comedic on Atlanta, and Karen has that moment on Potomac, and Ramona
But
used to. We don't have comedy now. Everything is so dark and everything is so bland and boring. So I think that if the show want to be saved, they have to bring some comedy back, in my opinion, some
but you know
funny.
who
It
that would
definitely
be?
does.
Do you know who I think that would be? Follow me on this. I think that might be Fallon. Why?
She's
Fallon.
okay.
No, hold on. I've talked a
Okay.
little bit to her. I know this and that. When she's talking about her life, of course she's at. But Fallon, um, she actually has a really wicked sense of humor. I can see her sitting back and observing in the scenes and playing along, and in her confessionals, ripping them apart. Don't sleep on Taurus. Fallon is actually incredibly, incredibly witty. But again, she's that perfect mix of shade where who's like that in the confessionals right now, where they're going along, but in the confessionals, Candace. The way Candace
That's
is a
right. I knew you were going to say Candace. That's right. So,
yes,
so,
and
so for me, so I think that what I'm saying JJ. I need to say the whole name, but I think that yeah. So I think the only way we can actually bring Fallon in is if the producers really do it in a delicate way, where they go,
mhm,
okay, obviously the woman that was there that you really had this big issue with is not going to be there, but we're going to have to talk about it. We're going to have to either show the relationship that she's having with her ex-husband in some way. I mean, it have to be some kind of closure. I think that if we just sort of pop her up there and not really have no kind of conversation about this big
mhm.
scandal, that might be a little jarring for the viewers. We got to really do it delicately.
Listen,
I
I
can
want to
see
think
see
Fallon
that. I
and
want to see
Kenya
Candy and
in a
Phaedra at
tag
it.
team.
wait,
I want
sorry,
to
you guys
see.
were both speaking. What is it?
Sorry. I want to see Candy and Phaedra at it. The reason why I want Phaedra back for because I want to see what this is going to lead to with Candy and the go between. And I want to. I mean, yes, she's never won a case in her life, but she's good at reading and she's good at being a bit shady, and she brings the fun. But I want to see her actually open up, crack that egg open, and let's see the real Phaedra come out, not the front. And I want to see her open up a lot more. And I do think she's TV gold. And this could be the thing what brings back Atlanta is seeing this dynamic duo going at it and seeing how they run this course going on because that was left on a really hard look for Atlanta. And the
Mm.
shame what Favre went out. I want to see some redemption. I want to see some kind of conversing going back and forth.
I think he's right about. I think that what he's saying is interesting because I think that in general, a lot of the franchises have a lot of loose ends. I think the
Yes.
one thing that they don't do on soap operas, which these are model operas, they try to tie up the loose ends. So sometimes it frustrates the viewer when you have all these big stories going on, and then next season they come back. We waiting for the confrontation between Candy and Phaedra. It's not going to happen. We're waiting for the Porsha and Fallon to really meet up and do. That's not going to happen. Sometimes we have these big blowups at the reunion or these big stories that happen after reunion, and then we don't get any kind of extra part of that. They just sort of want to do something different. So that becomes frustrating when we have this happening over and over and over. It happened in OC too. They had I forget that girl's name. Oh my gosh, she used to have issues with Tamara all the time, and then the next thing you know, she was
Gretchen?
gone. Gretchen, that's
Oh,
right.
yeah, Gretchen.
Yeah.
What so we just had IFY join the chat. Welcome, IFY. I'm gonna let you weigh in a second. But has anybody thought, what is Bravo's game plan? You're killing off all your housewife shows. Maybe it's a train wreck, they can't stop it, but you're killing off all your housewife shows. And now, like, what's your plan? You don't have scripted writing, you don't have new shows coming out. What is the actual plan? Are they gonna go back to rerunning Weekend at Bernie's like 9 times over the season? Like, where are they going with this? That's what Bravo used to do before Housewives came on. It literally used to rerun the same 10 movies over and over. It was like a make believe channel before Andy Cohen and his people.
Whoever's doing the script writing or the production, who's advising them and doing it, they're picking on the wrong characters. They're not looking at these women properly and their roles, how they can play this. They need to leave the messiness to the younger crowds coming in to give them what they need. They need a couple of older ones in OGs to keep the ship going, and for the original viewers who are attached to them, and keep bringing them back and forth in, and just keep that little bit of messiness going. This is the problem, but they need to keep it fresh with stories, glamour, money. This is what was attracted to Housewives in the first place, and the
Yes,
Yes, I
that
drama.
don't
is
want to
so
see
true.
Patty Drew. I don't want to see Drew with her drugstore stuff on. No, I don't want to see that. I want to see luxury. You're going to shop. That's what I want to see for
You know
Housewives.
what I think's going on? Portia's crayons, Portia's Crayola contract. Let me tell you. You know what I think is going on? I think that Drew is lying about her age. Drew's an actress. As an actress, you regularly need to lie about your age because you always want to be able to present younger. You look at Drew's style, you look at like it's almost like someone telling like a
Plus,
40-year-old that looks
looks.
like they're 30, but the 20-year-olds are wearing. And she's always trying to be young and hip, and it just looks like your mom trying to dress out of your closet. I think Drew just might be older than what she is actually saying. And that's why her style just seems so odd. All right, let's get a few things. So IFY and ACE. IFY, you want to weigh in on this?
Yeah, Ify.
T.
Hi,
Hey,
Tita.
T.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Yeah. I think one of the things that attracted me to Real Housewives in the first place was the class, the
Mhm.
something that I could relate with to. Um, but in the last few years, we've seen production trying so hard to center the Real Housewives of Atlanta on one person, Porsha. And because they did that, what they threw away good footage, because last year we had last season we had everybody saying the same thing. We had so many great shots. We had so many great shots. We never saw any of those great shots. All we saw was Porsha and her fake activism, and then we saw Porsha twerking. And I mean, we don't care what you do as a single person. The optics of it, when we see it, it becomes something like, as a mother of two girls, I'm asking myself, why would I want my kids to see me watching this show, doing the things that I don't want them to do? You know, so that's where Portia took this Real Housewives of Atlanta to, and I'm so glad that she is out, because as a Nigerian, I look at the pictures that were posted, and this is what Simon did the first time. Simon went ahead of Portia to make certain arrangements. I went to the University of Benin, and I can tell you that that Simon may not have been in the same class with with Ibinedian's son. Okay,
Okay.
and yes, he may not have been in the same class. And what he did was he went down to Benin, found out it's so easy because I still have people who live there and old classmates and all of that. And so I can reach out to them and say, hey, can tell me what's going on? I'm coming down. And then they'll tell me, oh, this is happening and that's happening. And then he went down, made a connection with the son of
Hmm.
Ibinedion. And then when he made that connection, he came back and he put a few things in place. You guys better don't disgrace me. I'm bringing somebody, and it's something that people do every time. So he would have
Really?
gone there, yes, and they gave him that invitation because the way Simon sat in that throne room of Ibinadia, and if he was so connected, he could have met the Oba of Benin. He never met the Oba of Benin. If you
He
don't meet,
didn't.
yeah, he never met the Oba of Benin. Who he met is just a rich man who has a chieftaincy title, but he didn't meet the main dynasty. He didn't meet the main Oba of Benin. If he had gone ahead and met and introduced Porsche, now that's royalty. Okay, that is the royalty. But he never met the Oba of Benin. It's like when you come to where I come from, and then you see the little chiefs, but not the main king himself. That's not that's not royalty.
So could
That's
you
not royalty.
explain? No, so could you explain to us really quick, because this is so fascinating. Thank you for calling. Could you
Mhm.
and I would love for you to DM me on Instagram, because I'd love to have a conversation in detail. But let's explain this right now. When you talk about the Obo of Benin, and then he met, like, a rich man that had a title, what's the equivalency in America so people can understand what that is, right?
All right, let me use the queen. Okay.
Okay, the queen.
um
All right.
let me use the British then, because that's like, so the king is has the Oba of Benin. The Benin dynasty dates way back, all the way back. Okay. And we have so many kings, but certain kings in Nigeria make more sense than the others. Not that the others are not, the other kings are not important, but the Benin kingdom is an old ancient kingdom with so much history, with beautiful culture, um um beautiful culture and beautiful traditions, and very, very ancient. It's a very ancient town. So what happens is the Oba of Benin is one of those, the Oba of Benin, the Emir of Kano, the Oba of Lagos, the Oba of the Oni of Ife. Now, when you talk about real Nigerian royalty, these are most of the this um these kings
So,
that I have called are the kings that you get, that you can say, okay, these are the ones who carry the biggest weight in
Mm.
Nigeria. I come from a descendant of the king because my grandmom is one of the many children of the king in where I come from. But my the king from where I come from is still not does not carry that much weight like this Oba of Benin and all of that. It's just a little town with a king and all that. So for Simon, what he did was he went down there, made a little connection, which is not very difficult if you know how to do it.
Why don't you
Made
think
a
it's
little
difficult?
connection.
How
It's
would
not
you do that?
difficult. I mean, you know where they hang out, and you go over there, and then you introduce yourself. If you say,
Okay.
"Hey, I'm from America. I have a proposal." There you go. It's not that hard.
Do you think Portia being her helped them like even get that
I was
thing?
go-
Like,
I
do
was
they
coming
know who
towards
Portia
that
is in
because
Nigeria?
a few people might know. They heard the story at one time. They just heard about a celebrity, but a few people who follow the Real Housewives, if they have access to it, may know her or have heard about her. But
Hmm.
the thing is this, right? When he went down to Nigeria the first time, he made that connection. He dressed the part, he looked the part. It was very easy for him to get into that guy. And he would say, "Hey, listen, I'm bringing this chick down that I really need to impress. And she's big and all that." And show him the Instagram and show him things and all that. And then men, the way they will do, they'll like, "Oh, that's fine. You can come in. I'm going to give you an invite." And that's the reason how he got access. And then he went ahead and said, "Can we meet the Esama?" And the Esama son will say, "Sure, why not? Bring your girlfriend." And I mean, we met her yesterday. She seems like fun. Let's, you know. And they met the Esama of Benin. And the reason why I know this is when he sat on that throne, the way
Hmm.
on the in the throne room, the way he sat down told me that this guy has never in his life come 10 foot near royalty because he was so excited to be there, and he was only there because he had Porsha with him. And that's what Porsha does not understand. He was
Now,
only there because Porsha was with him. She opened that door for him. He was too excited to be there, and he couldn't hide it. It was written all over his face. I looked at that on Instagram, and I'm like, "Oh, Porsha, sorry," you know. So
so
it's
no,
sad,
it's yeah.
but
So I had a few other questions for you though. So what about, and honestly, I've heard conflicting things, right? What about the way
mhm,
that Portia's been dressing? I have a few Nigerian friends. Granted, they're not close friends. I know them from college, but when I went to their gatherings, because that's one thing, you guys can throw a party, right? There's always
yeah,
a part, bless you, there's always a party going on, a christening, a this, a that, a cup.
mhm,
So she didn't
yeah.
dress in the finery that I have seen the rich Nigerians dress when they're going to a function. Can you tell anything about Simon's social standing or anything even about his importance by how he has Portia dressing, or is the way she's dressing just perfectly acceptable and we're being too critical?
She dressed like the way regular folks would dress every day, and
Mm,
even less than, in my opinion,
mm.
because I live in the US here, so and I have dresses that I wouldn't even wear to church, you know.
You
Yeah,
said I wouldn't
I
even
wouldn't.
mop my floor in that.
Right.
Okay,
I
so
wouldn't
you're
even wear those to church. So they were just regular Nigerian clothes. So and they didn't have any. You can tell when you see those clothes, you can tell. And he didn't even get her to wear any of the Benin traditional attire. Even the beads, the red beads that the coral is supposed to be coral. What he has on a cheap version. It's the cheap one. It's not even the real authentic one. He did his the Benin Kingdom a disservice, in my opinion, if you ask me, because that
so
was
what
just
is that?
wrong.
Could you explain? That's the red
The
blaze that she's
red
talking about.
There's a
Okay.
red bead that they wear, the red bead, the authentic ones. You can tell when you see it, there's a difference. If you don't know what you're doing, you will think you just get any red one. The very expensive ones are it's coral in color, but what he has on is red. It's not
any of the traditional beads. It's not the authentic traditional beads. It's the things that tourists might buy for a few um naira, and
What's the
it's not worth
significance of
anything.
those beads? Is there significance?
Well, it shows the culture. It carries like
Okay.
all, because the Benin Kingdom, it's not far from where, so it was called the Bendel state, and then it now divided into two states, Delta and Edo state. I'm from
Okay.
Delta state, so we share a lot of similarities in culture. In it's just after Benin Kingdom, it's the next is my state. So because they used to be one state. Now what we do, the beads, those beads, it's very, and when you're royalty, there's certain kind of beads that you have that you don't, I don't know, it's sacred, you know, it's
Gotcha.
sacred. Yeah, it's not what he had on. What he had on was cheap, and it was like, I was offended by it. I was like, seriously, you couldn't even get the real one from your mother? Because every family has one that is passed down
Oh,
to
do they really?
everybody, even if it's just one. Every family has one that your great grandfather passed down to your father. Because when you come of
Wow.
age, they give you that. It's like a heirloom, it's heavy. When you see it, you can tell. And he didn't have that. That was offensive to me. You know,
Wow.
you couldn't use that. That's crazy.
So let me ask you a question. What you're saying actually does make sense. That's why he went down there first. That's why
The
he
first
had
time,
that.
yes.
That's why it
Hmm.
makes sense, right? Even with the SIM call and do this and that. That's
Right.
why.
He doesn't even have a house there. You don't. The average Nigerian has a house. You
That's what
know,
I thought. I
the
have family
average
overseas, and you
Nigerian
have
who lives
a house.
abroad, you have a house. You have somewhere you call home. He doesn't even have a home. And he had the effrontery to snap a picture of his mother in that hut. That means she's poor. Not even middle class or something. You take that picture right there, and then that was offensive. You can't put your mother in there. You
I
know.
thought it was. I honestly thought, like at the end of the day, you must hate your mom because how do you have a $500,000 car sitting in your garage and your mom's house looks like that? You know,
Right. Even if you
Maybe-
don't visit, you will build a house for your
hmm,
mother, because mothers are revered a lot in Nigeria. You
yeah,
might not build for your father, but your mother, you have to.
it's
If you
so
have that kind of money, you have to,
yeah.
because she's gonna cuss you out. Your mother
Of
will wake up
course.
in the morning and
Listen, I'm
she'll
not
cuss you.
Nigerian, but my mom is the same way. But it's almost a point of shame if you're doing
Yeah.
well and your parents are not living on your level. Now, granted, you don't have to put them in another mansion, but they need to be like
No,
you're
just
thanking them
something
for giving you
reasonable.
life and sacrificing. Like,
Right.
who wouldn't want to help their parent unless you don't like your parents, right? But that's not what he
Even
was
if you
saying.
don't like your parents, it's something that it's your mom. They will make fun of her because and like your kid is in abroad, and he can't even take you out of here. I can't even imagine what she would have endured, because I didn't grow up in that. I went to school there for 4 years, and I have a lot of friends from that area. So what happens in that area is, what they do, it's very competitive. They have a lot of children. They send out one child and hope that that child will be able to make life better for them, especially um if you don't come from money. Okay.
Mhm.
So when they send out a child, usually that child sends home money and builds a house for the family, especially if you don't have that. If your father did not have it, you build a
Yeah.
house for your father, your mother, and your siblings. That it's not like it's a given, but it's usually what happens. And when I've seen women that fight on the street, and they're like, your useless son is abroad for the past 15 years and we've not heard from him. I've
Oh,
seen that happen when they fight on the street. You should be ashamed of yourself. That what did you do that is making your son not to send you
oh
something,
wow.
or your daughter to send you? So it's a thing of
It's
shame
a point of
that
shame.
you're right. Because some people go as far as borrowing money to send their kids abroad so they can either study and then
Mhm.
bring home something good.
Yeah.
But you go, you study, and then you don't. I have friends from Benin Kingdom who have been out and they build mansions, they build homes, they build a lot of things for their families. Even if you never come home, they have something. I have a house in Nigeria.
No, definitely.
People.
So
You're
speaking
right.
of you having, I'm sorry to interrupt, but speaking of you having a house in Nigeria, could you, because we don't really know the Nigerian cost of living and how much, not a mansion, but to have like a house in a nice neighborhood, right? Doesn't have to be the best
Right.
neighborhood, but a nice middle class neighborhood. What does that cost? And how much does it cost to maintain that house? And what's the price of living in Nigeria as far as like if you need a house or a cook or a driver? Like, what's that looking like?
Oh, girl, let me tell you something. If I were in Nigeria, I'll have a cook, I'll have a maid, I will have a driver, I will have my a gate man, and all of that. It's life when you have the money and you can afford it. It's easy.
Yes.
It's not. Yes, it's not. You don't have to pay through your nose like we will here. If so most of my friends who are back home, when I went home last year, I was like, okay, there's a chauffeur, there's a driver, there's everything. You don't do any of that yourself. It's cost of
Yeah.
living is low compared to here, but the if you live in the suburb, in the villages, in certain states, Lagos State is the old capital. It's like New York. It's the New York. They call it the New York of Nigeria. Lagos State is it's very exorbitant. Very, very, very. You could buy a land for 200 million. But the thing is, the people drop the money for that. They can drop you, but we
Okay.
don't have
So,
mortgages. You build with cash.
so there's no. So,
But
what
from
would
where
it be for a nice, modest house? A house that's like just modest and nice. What would you look at to build that? Just in general, and like how much in American dollars? How much would it be? Because I know, like, I spend a lot of time in Southeast Asia. I know that you can get a driver, a cook, and a full time
right.
housekeeper. These people are waking up in the middle of the
Mm-hmm.
night to make you a burger for maybe
Right.
like honestly 300 or 400 a week, all of them, 5 staff at your beck and call, including gas and the food and grocery
Mm-hmm.
supplies for like 300 or 400 a week. So, and this isn't a vacation villa. This isn't just living there. So,
Right.
what's it like in Nigeria if you actually live there? That you could get in American dollars a modest house or like a cook, a housekeeper, a driver, just to put it
I
in
mean,
relation.
with building, it depends because Nigerians are very big on own home ownership. If you know any Nigerian in America, the first thing that people do before they even buy an expensive car, most Nigerians will buy a house first because that's the culture that we grew in. The way we grew up, you have to have your own home. So regularly, yeah, it's getting expensive. Depends on the area. You could say $100,000 will get you a modest house.
Oh wow.
But
Pretty,
yeah,
it's
like
really,
but you
again.
don't pay mortgage. It's owned outright. You build. So
So this is the thing. Like, I can see your whole point. It's like, is 100,000 a little bit of money? No, it's a big amount. But when somebody is
mhm,
literally driving a car that's 500,000 and you're showing a parking garage with 6 cars
full
that are
of
supposed to be half a million each,
mhm,
why haven't you at least dug in to throw a couple hundred, not even for your mom, but your family
for
house, your
yourself.
nieces, your and for yourself because you come visit. But I guess he doesn't care. Maybe he's just stingy. I know that Fallon mentioned that she had told him you need to get your mom a house because Fallon's really, really oriented. Let me ask you another question. What would you say about in Nigerian culture, right? And again, I'm not saying you know all about, but you are Nigerian, you're very knowledgeable. What would you say about Nigerian culture would receive Portia knowing the stuff behind Portia, either with um having an affair and getting Simon, or even with what happened last season with her and the stripper. Like, is Nigerian culture a very open culture or is it very
No,
conservative?
she's gonna be forever indelibly in the minds of everybody. The one who stole her friend's husband.
Really?
It's never even with the ones who smile at you the day that you are with them. She has to be very careful because someday somebody's going to be, yeah, girl, don't come too close because we heard that you still husbands. So It's it's ridiculous.
So what does it look like when you are um outcast, like in America, when you are do something that goes against, because all societies cannibalize anybody that's outside of the norms, right? In America, when
Hmm.
people cannibalize somebody that steps out of social societies, we drag them on the internet, we talk about them, they're in gossip, it's cautionary tales, so other people are like, don't steal other people's husbands. What does it look like in Nigeria when you're not accepted?
Uh, have you seen? Did you watch the last? You did watch the Real Housewives of Potomac and Wendy. The way Wendy came out blazing like that. That was nice.
Yeah, but what is
That
it?
was nice
But
because with the
yes.
Nigerian culture,
Mhm.
with the way because we fight when you get married in Nigeria, it's not just you and your man. You get married, your family. It takes a minute for them. There are several steps because your his family will come to your family, then they become intertwined as one. They do business together, they do things together because your I mean, it's gonna be one big family at the end of it by the time you guys are getting married. Okay,
Yeah,
so if that's how strong we hold marriages. We believe so much in marriage, and no matter how bad your husband is, they try to help you walk through it. That's why the divorce rate is almost
almost what? Hello? Hello? Did we lose her? Hello? Hello? Did we
It's
lose
gone
her?
quiet.
Yeah, I think we lost her. Oh,
No.
it was getting so good.
No! She was getting
But
so good.
hello,
Oh
but I've
no.
heard.
hello.
Oh, she's back.
Wait, you're back. You're
She's
back. You're
back.
back. Okay,
Okay,
you thought
all
we
right.
lost her. So
Can you
glad
hear
we
me?
got her.
Yes, we
Okay,
can
we
hear
can
Can
you.
you
hear
I'm
hear
you.
so
me?
excited.
Yes, we can hear you.
Right. With the Nigerian culture, before you get it, sorry, I don't know what happened. Before it gets to the point of divorce, his family is going to come and mediate, and your family will come mediate. So it's so hard for you to. It's not hard to get a divorce at the end of the day, but they try everything to make sure that you have members of your family, his friends will come together and hold him, dude. For a guy, leave this thing. Women and all that, all their problems and all that, or your friends will come in and say, men, and they try to get you together. Your pastor will come in, and it's such an arduous task to get divorced because there's so many people working on your interest, taking you and your husband in their wings to try to see how they can ameliorate the situation. And when it gets to the point where it's a no, your own father will say, I'm going to go take the bride price back to them and say, give me my daughter back. I don't want, she doesn't want him more. But before it gets to that point, they try hard to make sure that everything can, every disagreement can be settled. So when a woman comes in, Porsha is every married woman's nightmare.
Mm,
She's the reason why you don't invite some people to your home because you're like, I don't know what I can do when if you see a crack, you might just bust it open and cause us to
yeah.
divorce. And at the end of the day, what do I have to show for that? So I'm here trying to make my marriage work, and you come in as a friend, and you end up sticking a dagger on my back. Yeah, she's not going to get it very easy in the Nigerian community. And I heard a rumor that she was going to join the Real Housewives of Lagos or something of that nature. That made me laugh because those women right there, no, if she thinks she has shade here, she'll cry, she'll fight,
How does
she'll
that
fight.
sheet actually look?
Yeah, that's not going
Is it
to.
just
She's
cold?
probably.
Like, is it cold? Is it icy? Will people call you out, or will you just not be invited to any parties?
Oh
No
no,
houses, no get
no,
together.
they're gonna be so friendly with you. They'll say, "Hi, Pasha, how are you, husband snatcher?" You
Like, oh, Portia, you look so beautiful. Oh,
know,
wow,
oh,
have you
this
lost
one that
weight?
you're looking
Oh,
so cute
beautiful.
today. Please stop dancing, auntie. Stop dancing because the way you're dancing now, our husbands are here.
Oh,
It can get so petty and so
got you.
Nigerians are so yeah,
So
just
she
so
can
good.
definitely feel it. So a couple of other questions I wanted to ask you, right? Um, how would you in Nigeria though? How do people ascertain who's somebody? Is it one of those things that when you have money, okay, so you know how in New York, right? It sounds like you live in New York,
Mm.
right?
No, I
You
live
know
in
New
North
York.
Carolina.
Okay, well, North Carolina, right? So
Mm.
the thing, I know, like when it comes to New York, right? There can be a million people walking around. You can literally be on the subway with a millionaire and not know it. Everybody kind of mixes together because it's the same city, but the people that are millionaires, maybe people in their small circle know that, but everybody wouldn't because there's so many people. Is it like that in
Okay.
Nigeria too? You can have crazy
No,
amounts of money and it's a secret, or does everybody know who has money?
everybody knows who you are because Nigerians are not quiet. I'm sorry, we're
Ah,
not quiet. Nigerians are not quiet, and sometimes even if it's not you trying to show that you have money, it's somebody else trying to show that you have money. So Nigerians are not that quiet because when you have money in Nigeria, your family, that's why Simon is so suspect. Your family knows, even if you are not a giver, there are certain people, there's somebody who knows that man, he's very rich but he's very stingy. Don't even come close to him, but because
really?
Nigerians are very good about the way we are very communal. You're either paying school fees for 10 people in your family or doing something, or your extended family. So somehow, somewhere, and then when you throw a party, the Nigerians always throw parties. You
Yeah,
somehow everybody, somebody knows, and then when one person knows, then 10 people know. So
gotcha.
if Simon were as rich as he said in his community, because I have a friend, and I said, and I know he's very rich, and he left Nigeria when he was like um 20, 24,
Yeah,
and he
about that
lived
long.
in Amsterdam. Yeah, he's lived in Amsterdam, and he's in his late 40s, and he's lived in Amsterdam for a long time. And I know he's very rich and all of that. And then he's from from Benin, and I called him and I said, hey, do you know this guy? And he said, hold on, let me ask around. And he asked around, and no, nobody knows him. And I'm like, huh? That's why everybody's saying we don't know him. You could have heard somebody, and by the time, even if you don't know him, when he comes up on the internet, you're gonna get like 10 people say, oh yeah, I know him. Oh, I know this
Yes.
about him. I know that about him.
So
Well, we
Nigeria is
don't
a
get
bit.
that.
So Nigeria, if I understand you, is a bit like a small town. I grew up in a
No,
small
it's
town
not.
where the way, well, I
Mm-mm.
say small, but I always say like it's a big city disguised, a small town disguised as a big city, right? So it's big, but in that way that everybody kind of knows a little bit about everybody's business,
Well,
just a little bit,
it's hard. No, no, not really. It's a very big country. They don't call Nigeria the giant of Africa for nothing.
No, no, I
Um,
know it's big, but in the way that even though it's big, so what can I, like Philadelphia reminds me of a city like that. Philadelphia is a huge city, but the way people kind of know each other's business, it will remind you of a small town. Where in a small town, everybody kind of knows a
okay, I
little
see
bit
what you're
about
saying.
everyone's business, even though Nigeria is the giant of Africa. I'm not saying that Nigeria is small. I know it is vast, vast,
Right,
vast. But unlike in New
right.
York, you can really there are people where I don't know their business. If you're like, who is this? I'm like, I don't know. So in that
It's
type
just
of
like
thing.
it's the way we can tell that like Southern is her husband is wealthy, even
Yes.
without you knowing anybody there. Um, it just happens to be that in every if you tell me you come from Calabar in Nigeria, then and I have Calabar friends, and I'm like, hey, if you come from Calabar, somebody must know you or know
Yes.
your father or know something about your father because it's just like if I tell someone, oh, I'm from North Carolina, and
Yes.
they say what part of North Carolina, Asheville. If you have what you say you have, somebody from Asheville must know who you are.
Ah,
So that's how
okay.
it is.
There we
That's how it is,
go.
and that's
There
how, and that's why it comes into central. If you recently there was a very rich guy. I never knew about him. I never heard about that, but he buried his mom in Nigeria, and he comes from one of those states where everybody is a millionaire practically. And then I'm seeing the feed coming on to my internet, and I'm asking what, then I asked somebody, I said, who is it? And my brother said, you don't know him? I said, no. Oh my God, he's very popular here. And then I went back
Mm,
and listened to one or two things. That's how he never met him, but he knows about him. Okay, he
yeah,
knows about him, and because by the time you talk to five people, somebody will say, "Oh, I've heard about him," you know. But we
yes,
don't know Simon that way. It's like you can. Not everybody knows Jeff Bezos, but we know of him. Yeah,
exactly. And
we
that's the
know of
thing.
him.
In
Simcoe
Nigeria,
doesn't even seem like a legitimate business in Nigeria. You did an awesome job with
oh, thank
because
you.
when the first time I looked at him up, I was like, huh, this guy seems tricky. And then you went in and then you brought out everything. I'm like, this, she said she's just bringing out the Nigerian fraudster secrets. Everything you did was astute because I've seen people who do things like that open every company and then they never use one.
Yes.
So yeah,
Yes. And it's only to have the
that's
look. Listen, so I really thank you so much for sharing
I'm
what you
sorry.
know.
I took a lot.
No,
It took
Iffy,
over
don't
my
apologize.
life. I
I
apologize.
listen. You are my guest. Don't apologize. I enjoyed every minute of this. Can you make sure, if you can, if you're on Instagram, to reach out to me so I can follow you, or at the very least, well,
Oh,
I'll
you
follow you
follow me
definitely.
already.
I'll do it.
You follow, yeah, you follow me, but it's not. I don't have beard and them. I'll DM you
DM
my
me and be
name.
like, hey, it's Iffy. Okay.
Yeah,
Because
yeah, I
I want
will.
to ask you so many questions and see if I can have you. I want you to be my resident expert of what goes on in Nigeria,
Right.
you know? Because you're so knowledgeable and you lay it out so well. I appreciate it so much. And also, Iffy,
Thank you.
and
So
uh,
sweet.
yes, and also Iffy, and everybody, you guys, I do have membership. It is $4.99 a month. What do you get with the memberships? I have exclusive member only live chat. They're a lot like this, only they're a lot smaller, and they're hidden from the public so we can really talk. Again, I give you guys the greasy, dirty gossip, the stuff that's been verified, some stuff that I heard that hasn't been verified, but we really get in there and talking. The only rule is you cannot spread it around. But the live chat is going to be members only. Tomorrow, Friday, I will post it. We will get in dirty, dirty, dirty. It'll be fun. It is members only. So make sure you guys sign up for my channel. It's $4.99. Buy me a cup of coffee. Now, what about this, right? Because there is DJ J1913 that's saying that Simon was locked up in Nigeria. What would that be? No, I'm being serious. Now, I know that he got
That's probably
extorted,
why you don't want to get locked up in Nigeria. That's probably why he didn't go back there.
right? They scarred him.
Right.
He was like, oh. Now, here's the
You don't
thing.
want you
Here's
don't
the
want
thing
to
I
be.
do know from Latin America. If you commit a crime in America and you're not a natural born citizen, you were naturalized, what they do is they
Deported.
convict you in American courts, and then you either one serve your time in America and then they deport you. But now what they've been doing for the last 10 years is they'll deport you, but you still have to serve your time in your home country. So I wonder when Simon got deported for that a felony of some sorts. I think it was like 2 years or whatever. Did he have to serve it in American prison and then he got deported, or if he had to sort it out in Nigeria? And then whatnot. I mean, this could be part of his origin story because honestly, if I was in prison, it would make me lose my mind and I'd be like, I'm never going back. I don't care. I don't care. I don't
Mm-hmm.
care. So I wonder if that's what it is, DJ 19. But yeah, he was there for 2 years. So if it was the Nigerian prison, but if he would serve time in Nigerian prison, but then again, Nigeria is so big, how would anybody know, right? How would anybody know?
Yeah.
Who would remember? Exactly. It's like serving prison time in America. Unless you were somebody in the prison with them, nobody would remember you, especially if
Except if he were a popular person, and he served time in Nigeria, that would have come up. Well, I don't know, but if because
There
it's
could be,
an
there could
ordinary
be
person,
documents,
you can get that.
that's
You
true.
documents
can
with
get that.
photos.
What? What did you say, Cutie?
There could be documents with photos. If you get onto it, go and do some research and see if you can find his profile of him being in prison on the law, and give Tisha some snapshots of him being behind bars.
Okay.
Oh,
But listen,
you're
sun kissed,
shady.
never burnt. 218. I'll be on live tomorrow in the evening. I'm doing my members only live. I'm going to post that in my community page, but not even that. I might go on live tomorrow for everybody, but mostly probably I'll be tuckered out after the members only live. But if not, I'll post it. It'll be late. It'll be like 10. You guys know I love a good late night live. It would be like 9 or 10 at night, right? If I do actually go on live, but I'm doing the members only live definitely. And Iffy, make sure you DM me. You guys sign up for my channel. It is $4.99. You can go. Miriam, you're back. What did you have to, Miriam? Did you have any questions for Iffy?
I'm just mesmerized. I didn't know you brought me on. I'm like, let me unload the groceries.
I saw that. I was like, Miriam, having a popsicle. You were having a good time. We were like, what else did she get?
I
Cheetos?
was.
But
I'm
Iffy.
hungry. I didn't have dinner.
Oh, it's okay. No, so
I saw
Iffy,
what.
she is
Yeah,
from
yeah.
an area that's close by
Nigeria.
where Simon is, and she's been spilling the tea on Nigerian culture. She even broke down why Simon went to Nigeria first, how he set everything up for Porsha, and how like she doesn't even realize that this is all a big con, basically.
Okay. The only setup here is set up for failure. Okay. I heard you talk in your beginning of the live. You said that Porsche is for the bag. No, Porsche knows how to get a sack and empty, no money. And she overworked her story. It totally backfired. Bravo, they look at the what's trending and they saw that people were over it. She basically shot herself in the foot, and even her 3-part commercial, even if they make it 6, it's not gonna go anywhere. What a she's so dumb. It hurts.
It does.
She really is.
I also want to say hello to Linda Jean Lewis, the newest member of the Tattle Tell fam. Thank you so much, Miss Jean Louise. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. So listen, you guys, Porsha is what Effie. Before we go, I do want to get you to weigh in on where do you think here's the thing. I know American men, bless you. I know American men, and I can tell you what the good ones will take you, and I can tell you where the ones that ain't ish will take your life, right? Can you let us know a little bit about Nigerian men when you're dating like one that is toxic or one that's not about any? What does that look like and manifest in your life? Like, what are the ways? And I know it's not all Nigerian men. We're not saying that. Nobody come in the stream. But the way I can tell you about LA guy game or New York guy game or all this different or Miami guy game. What can you tell us about Nigerian man game where they're running game on you and not to be trusted? Does it look like what's happening in Simon and Portia's relationship, or is this something you've never seen before?
Oh, girl, I've seen it all. I went to school in Benin, and one of the things I told myself, I was like, I will never date someone from this town, and I never did. 4 years, and I never did.
Wow.
Yeah, I never did.
So what does it look like when the men not what does it look like for somebody from Benin that's toxic? What's the type of game they would run on you? What do they expect a woman to do? How do they treat the woman? And we are not talking about the good men from Nigeria. The majority of men from Nigeria are awesome. We are talking about somebody like Simon. What's the type of game you expect him to run if he was trying to talk to you?
So when Fallon said that Simon said Simon gets caught whenever he wants to get only when he wants to get caught, I was like, yeah, Fallon, you're right.
Why is
There's a lot of men from Benin who I have met who are reasonable, who are nice, who take care of their families. But in Benin, okay, so the state is Edo State. The capital is Benin. In Benin, in Edo State, they have several tribes, and those other tribes, I would date anyone from those other tribes. But from Benin itself, I was adamant about it. I never said yes to anyone who talked to me from that Benin. And the reason is when I came into that town, I found that the women were the ones who worked. They did all the work, and the men would sit back and have 4, 5, 6 wives, and all of the wives will fend for Yep, and they will fight every morning. They will fight for the men's attention, and the women are fighting themselves and killing themselves because they have very high voodoo rate. If you get into the hands of a Bini person when it comes to voodoo, yeah, you're most likely never going to come out of it because they have
What do you
very
mean?
strong voodoo. Yeah, very.
So
I never saw a sacrifice until I came to Benin, and then I saw people in the open making sacrifices to the gods. So I never saw that. I grew up in the city. I never saw that one day until I went to Benin, and that scared the hell out of me, you know. So but
So what you're
that's
saying
not to
the
say.
way what Simon has Portia doing, basically saying, "Oh, hustle," and kind of sitting back and just taking what it seems like from the outside, just using her, right?
Right,
And
because I'm looking at that and I'm like, the average Nigerian man, my husband, every time I buy him a gift, he's like, why are you doing, why? Why? Keep your money, It's
not.
annoying to me sometimes, so keep your money. But that's not to say, like, I will buy, if I can afford to buy my husband a nice car because he's who he is, he's my husband, he's kind, um, he takes good care of the family and all of that. If I could do that as a surprise,
Yeah.
I don't mind that. But the look on the when you are dating a Nigerian man and you are the one buying all of the gifts, yeah, chances are
Yeah.
that he's not taking you too seriously.
So it's like, honestly, and I'll
So
say this, it's like that in every culture. It really
right,
honestly is. And anyone buying their man gifts will be like, now it's different, like you said, when you're in a committed relationship and it's secure, of course you're going to, if you can, like
right,
help the person you're with, spoil them, give them little things.
right.
But I know what you're saying. When it's that one sided where you're like actually taking over the masculine energy, it's like that's
Right,
never.
you are emasculating the man, and Nigerian men from Benin don't want to be emasculated. When you begin, you could have done that without posting it on the internet, and everybody's looking, okay, Simon, she's buying you all of these things, and then
Yeah.
you're chipping away from them. Nigerian men are very proud and arrogant. They don't want to be
I have
dictated
a
to.
question.
Hmm.
I have a question. Why was Portia crying when she said it's going down? Was she crying because she was paying? Like, I don't understand. Why was she
No,
crying?
one of my subscribers said, no, I don't think that's that. I think she was, I don't know, because it's
She
like,
got emotional?
maybe, but it was odd because you guys have
So
been
on.
engaged for 5 months. So, I mean, was it ever a question that he would say no? Like, if you give your fiance a ring, I don't know. It was a weird scenario. I thought because they were all drunk, they were just emotional and crying. Or maybe
I
she was
kind of
literally
have
like,
I have a different
Maybe
take on
all the
all of that because I look at it like Porsha was probably sensing that she was losing Simon, and that's the reason why she got him that ring. Because there was a look on his face, and I was like, I know that look. This look is a look like, if you like do all of this, I'm still gonna do what I want to do, look, and that didn't sit right with me. I'm like, and it wasn't it's not a Nigerian thing.
Lisa.
Simon he's probably been westernized a lot, and that might be the reason why he's doing all of the things he's doing. But I've not seen a Nigerian man who has been so westernized that he loses so much touch with his culture. He can
yeah.
pretend, but when it gets to the nitty gritty, that thing about him that makes him a Nigerian comes up. We're very proud people. Um, we go with the men. I mean, among your peers, it
Mhm.
will come up when they're drinking one day. They will be like, you say something, they say, hey, keep quiet, you that a girl bought your engagement ring, idiot. It will come up.
Oh,
So
that's an
I
interesting
have
yeah,
a
take, Ariel.
question.
Go on.
I have a question. How long do you guys give this relationship will last? How long you think? Because you know what's the next chapter, right? They're gonna break up.
Do you think he'll marry her?
I don't think
No.
for the optics of it, I think they might go all the way just to
Mhm.
prove everybody wrong.
Yeah.
But Portia she should tread lightly if she's going to marry him because they want to prove everybody wrong. She'll be miserable.
Yeah.
She'll be miserable. If a Nigerian loves you, it's not difficult. They shower the women. They will shower you with everything. They do not play with you. If you find a Nigerian man that likes you, you
Shower
will
Fallon.
you
He
will know.
showered
You can
Fallon
tell.
of everything. Yes.
Right. He doesn't want you to walk. He doesn't want to do anything. I think the first fight I had with my husband was he was like, I don't want you to work. And I'm like, hell no.
Yeah, right?
I
It's
went
like
to
you're not.
school, bro.
But
Yeah,
that's an
no, no,
interesting thing.
no.
No, but you know
Right.
what's an interesting thing about the rings? I was like, oh, but it was so funny because when she was crying, Shamia was like, oh, look, Simon's crying too. And Portia's like, where? Right? Because she wanted to see. And it does make sense that maybe she did feel like she was losing him. He's been out all over
Right.
Atlanta. And you said from that look, you recognize that look like, yeah, you can do all this, but I'm still not taking you that seriously.
Or maybe
Mm-hmm.
could it be that he was against wearing the ring and she finally convinced him, and this is why she got emotional?
I mean, if that's the case, that's
I mean,
sad. That's sad if that's the case. Like,
I know.
that's just sad. That is
Listen,
just
I'm
sad.
like,
Hey, Tosh
I
Brown,
just cannot
Honestly, I
believe.
would be so
welcome.
embarrassed. I would
Yes.
just be
she
so
could be
embarrassed and so
she
ashamed. Like
could
I
have been
couldn't be
going
able to
through
tell
a
my
lot
parents.
of emotions. Mm-hmm.
I guess we're on the same wavelength. We're just talking at the same time.
Yes, sir.
The thing is that I'd be so embarrassed to even share that. Like to say that I propose, like I was to your dad at Tiffany's while drunk in a in the bikini with the net cover up, and oh, here's the video of that moment. Like, such a terrible story. If you really want a genuine family with somebody,
Mm-hmm.
that's it. With especially since we have evidence, you can't say that's not what happened.
Well, you know what?
Yeah.
To Iffy's point, why can't it be all those things? She's experiencing all those emotions,
Yes,
Right.
And
I think
yeah,
so.
And knowing she lost the Real Housewives. That's Porsha. That is all Porsha embodies. That's everything about Porsha. She's knowing she's lost that might have been a reason why she was crying. The other thing I was going to talk about, Shamia is that friend that I do not want to have.
tell me.
I did not pray to have a friend like Shamia that sees me going into the Lions Den and she's like, "Oh my God, you're doing great. Just go in, let's
Yes.
go." You
I
know,
agree. I agree.
she's a friend that I don't want to have. I want my friend
She's
to be able
terrible.
to say, "Girl, you are going crazy.
Yes.
Stop." You
Exactly.
know,
Yeah.
now that's a friend.
I think
But
like Shami is mad at
Shamia is no
something
friend.
because Shami is just letting her friend
Or
get dragged
Shamia.
out in the streets.
Yes. Maybe.
I feel
What
like
a
the
fall
dynamic between
from grace,
Porsha and
right?
Shamia is Shamia was the one who wasn't as pretty as Porsha in her mind because she's a very pretty girl and
She's
she's probably just
gorgeous.
getting right. And then she
She's
was the
perfect.
one, Porsha was always the one who was always taken probably, and she had the legacy, and Shamia grew up under that shadow. And I fear for PJ, and between PJ and Shire, that legacy might continue. Shamia she stayed under the shadow of Porsha until she came to her own. And even when she got hers, she did not realize, because the way Porsha treated her on Real Housewives of Atlanta, I swear to God, if that was me, you will not be my friend. I've dropped friends for less. You will not be my
True.
friend anymore.
What
Because
a fall from good graces of
right,
Bravo. What a
right,
fall from
even
the good graces of Bravo. Portia had so steep. It's like
right.
overnight. She gambled her cards wrong.
Hmm.
It's she thought she was the it. She thought she was the new Nene because she was having all these like appearances in the special for Black Lives Matter. They put her at the forefront. They went on with her storyline.
But
They gave her Bravo
Marian,
chat
can
room.
I say something real quick? The only place where Portia seems to be shining is in Bravo, while her other castmates are doing things with other networks and other bigger platforms. Portia has been in the cocoon of Bravo, and that's all. That's
True.
where she seems to be shining. So, in my opinion, she's actually
Not
not
anymore.
shining, huh?
I think that she's really
Not
stagnant.
anymore. Not even at Bravo.
She's stagnant.
Yeah.
Yes, she's
She's not
going. She's
like
just being
she's
like it's like a ping pong. She's just going around Bravo. Oh, chat room.
Wrong
Oh,
road.
this, but nothing
Wrong
out
road.
of that. Kenya is on Dancing with the Stars. Candy is doing big and beautiful
Yes.
things.
Can-
Cynthia, she might be out of Real Housewives, but she's been doing other things. I've never seen Porsha in any movie. I've never, at least I've seen Cynthia, I've seen Nini, I've seen every other person but her.
or even like a
Eva might
TV
not be
show,
on,
because those are
right,
like quick
even like
little
a
easy
TV show,
parts. Because
right. And that tells me that she's either not bright enough to be able to do that, stand on her own outside of Bravo, or that Bravo has made her think that where you are, it's like you're in this hole and it looks like this is the whole world, yet the whole world is bigger than what you are. So even Eva, I feel like Eva won when she left to Real Housewives, and she has a big show right now that everybody is saying good things about. So some people say, "Oh, you got fired from Real Housewives." Yeah, I might have been fired from Real Housewives, but I am the star of this show. You know,
Well, this is
Yeah.
what happens when you put all your eggs in one basket.
right?
I mean, it's
That's
true,
what
but
I feel
Porsche
sad for
Portia
her.
didn't have. She didn't do that. The only basket she put her eggs in was Simon. Because if you think about it, she had this nation,
Exactly.
her thing. And she even signed with that big management thing. Again, hopefully,
So
I hope Portia can whatever
I think
style she
Simon
ever.
paid for that big management thing,
You think
and
so?
that's the reason. Yeah, I think so. I think Simon was the one who broke her that he probably did that, and that's the reason why she was willing to throw everything out
Ah,
for him, not knowing that for you to be a talent, you have to bring the talent. So if there's
she's
nothing to
so
manage, then
I say that all the time. A manager just brings you opportunities, but it doesn't guarantee you're
mhm,
going to get anything you read for. That it just guarantees that you'll get more opportunity.
you
Yeah,
can
I
bring
mean,
the
it
horse to the
was
water,
sense.
but you can drink.
yeah, because I think
Exactly.
that
No,
right,
this
she's not
was
going to get any more. She's not going to get any. She's not going to get as many. Again, we're not seeing you every week on Bravo, so we're
yeah.
going to miss those things, and we're gonna slowly like forget about her, like just like the other
right.
housewives that we had to dig up their names later on. We're oh, who should we pull out the trick bag? She's one of
This
those.
is true. This is
None of
true.
those are getting calls. No, nobody's rushing to their Instagram pages to see what's going on. And I think honestly, Porsha would have just been better off if she would have, after the dentist, took some time off and went somewhere else. Not like Miami, not those people throwing money, but maybe to New York, LA, Chicago.
We still don't know why she broke up with Dennis.
Well, because the
What do you
thing
mean?
is that she didn't give it
But they never
time.
showed it on the show.
Yeah, they never did show it on the show, but also
They
like
never
you don't
showed. They
you,
never
you, you
told us
never
the
you,
reason.
they never gave the thing is that they never gave us a reason, and even in their little private
Hmm.
session they never gave it to us. But you can't, like, there's some people that they walk in, they see somebody, they want that person, and they're willing to go through the loops to get that person, married with them, showering gifts.
Yeah.
And with her, she skipped the married part. If she would have got married to Dennis, they would have probably worked out their issues if she would have just held on
I
a
don't
little
know.
longer.
I don't know about that. She
I
seemed
think, I
like
think, well, because I think when you're married, you're going to be forced to work through a little bit more than if you're
Yeah, it
just
makes you walk through the
popping in the
things you would
sack.
never. Yeah.
You're pregnant and you have this kid and then now you're just connected by this kid. And it's, it's just
okay.
an unfair story. And I think as a Southern belle person, her being this Atlanta royalty person because of her grandfather, she should know better.
Yeah. No, I completely agree with you. She should know. There's so much stuff going on, but then like when you think about it, like I don't know. I honestly just look at Portia as, or any woman, like you're in an abusive situation and you're with a man that somehow has gotten into your head, to your point, Iffy, that he's your greatest supporter, your greatest protector, your greatest advocate. But if you look around, your life is going to ruins, and how
Mm-hmm.
long do you realize it's you're the problem? It's like having a dark spirit around you. So yeah. And I don't think Dennis Dennis took Porsha through everything. I don't think that Dennis was the right person for Porsha either. I don't think they would have worked it out because Dennis didn't have any love or respect for Porsha from what I saw. But I don't know.
Yeah.
I
I
think he lost respect when she told him at that dinner table that he had with her in the beginning, or some other girl um probably asked a question and she's gone. When I saw that, I was like, how do you say that to the guy you just met? That you're telling him that you can do anything. I'm fine with
yeah,
it as long as I'm still here and
I have
getting
a
all the gifts.
question.
And that's the reason why he treated her the way he did. Because she said
exactly.
she
I
didn't
have a
mind. Hmm.
statement about. I feel like Dennis, true, he didn't respect her. But when you look at what Portia used to say, remember when she was talking with her mom and her sister sitting on the floor, she said that the leverage that makes her legs open depends on how deep his pocket is. And she was talking about Dennis, like she minimized him. She goes like he became so attractive because he had money. The more she knew he had money, the more attractive she became, and this is how she got pregnant with PJ, baby PJ. I just feel like this is another tragic story, but this time Bravo didn't have to do anything to
Yeah,
break the giant that they built. It was done. She self imploded. She truly self imploded.
I
Yeah, I
agree.
think
Yeah,
I
she
think
did.
agree. I think also another thing with this whole Simon thing was also the timing was really bad for it. Because if she would have
Mm-hmm.
just waited to come out with it, like even if it was 4, 5, 6 months later, that would have made all the
Yes.
difference in the story. And they
Right.
would have
And
To that
then
made
definitely
everybody
had
we
her.
want to watch.
right, and we had just come out from with we're just
For
trying
RHOA
to
because they didn't have any.
Hmm.
right. We're just trying to accept what you did with Bolo on national TV, because that
Yeah,
was like, yeah, that was very unsavory. You can do whatever you want to do on your own time, but that was unsavory. If we were watching something of that in that category, we know that's what we are watching. But to see you go down the way you went down, and people see wives, a lot of wives, the executives' wives will be like, that you are you filming that girl? Why are you so what? She's everything that every wife don't want to hear.
But
The reason why they sit up at night wondering where's my husband is working late and with you, that's
yeah,
a problem. For yeah, that's and then on my screen I'm looking at you. I'm going to be looking at you as the one who, because last time I saw you, you were in Fallon's house, and now you are the
yeah.
queen of her castle. That's it's a lot.
Let me
It's a
ask you this
lot.
one question. This is the last question before we go, right? What do you think about the whole Simon being Yoruba or Edo? He claims to be Yoruba. What's that whole controversy? I've heard like some people talk saying they think he's actually Edo, but he's trying to act like he's Yoruba. Do you have any insight into that or like about the cultures or whatnot?
Oh no, he cannot be Yoruba. He doesn't speak a lick of Yoruba. I speak Yoruba. He's not Yoruba. He has to know something. He doesn't even have any. Every tribe has its markings. He doesn't even have the markings of a Yoruba person. He doesn't behave like a Yoruba person. He's Edo.
So
So
why would he say that he was Yoruba? How are you saying Yoruba?
Yoruba.
Yoruba. Why would he say he's Yoruba and not Edo if he's actually Edo?
No, he cannot say he's Yoruba. He's Edo.
He's not
Okay,
saying
so in
he is.
Edo State, but then he cannot be Benin. In Edo State, they have where they call Akuku Edo, that is between Edo State and Osun State or Ogun State. I can't remember now. They speak a little bit of Yoruba, but that's not where Simon is from. Gobadia is Benin. So
Huh.
he's Edo State, he's Benin. He's not from Akuku Edo. If he's Akuku Edo, that would be a different thing.
Okay.
So
Huh.
he's not.
I
Akuku
wonder.
Edo is Edo State. Edo State, but they speak a little bit of Yoruba, but they have their own language because they have they share a border with a Yoruba town. But he's not from there. He's from Benin.
Huh. So that's odd. Do you think he just doesn't know this? It is impossible, right? Who wouldn't know this about
He
him?
knows. he knows he's trying to throw you guys off because he can come and tell you I'm from Edo State, but I'm Yoruba, and you're like, okay, yeah, that's true, okay,
And
but
then
you
it's
can't
hard
tell
to
him.
actually trace
All
exactly.
right. You can tell
Yeah.
me. I know my dad was very good with history and he was well traveled. So I some of those he made sure we got to learn the history of Nigeria very well. So there's almost no part of Nigeria that I cannot tell you something to the a very good give you very good information about how they are because that was like a Bible study. After Bible study, that was
Okay.
that. Yeah. So he's
I
not.
love
He's not.
that.
It's not.
Okay. So listen, Iffy, thank you so much. I
Thank you
appreciate it.
for
Thank you
having
for
me.
all you guys for hanging around. Miriam, of course, Queen. We had ACE, QK, of course, Mel, NYC Reviews, Jose, Judgy Justice. Everyone, thank you so much. And of course, everybody that became a member of my channel. I really appreciate you guys. The first members only live is going to be tomorrow. We're going to be spilling tea. And Iffy, please message me on Instagram and let me know you're you so we can actually talk
Mhm.
online. And of course, I would love to have you back, girl. You are a knowledge of culture, of course,
Yes.
proud Nigerian woman, a knowledge of culture, history, knowledge, and things that we wouldn't even consider. So I would love to
Thank
have
you
you
for
back
having
sometime.
me.
Of course,
Thank
of
you,
course.
everyone.
Thank you for even like putting up with all our insistent questions and whatnot. All right. Everybody have a nice
That
night.
was great.
Thank you, everybody. Okay. And Iffy, don't forget to
Peace
DM
out.
me. Okay. Or I'm going to start going through all
Ciao,
my
Ian.
followers and being like, are you Iffy? Are you Iffy? Are you Iffy? Okay.
All right, I'll DM you.
Twirl.
Bye.
Twirl.
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 Twirl. See you guys.
Twirl.
Bye. Thank you guys. So, and B, thank you for being the best damn moderator that ever lived. Thank you, B. I appreciate you, girl. All right, everybody. Good night, everybody. Bye bye.